to me then, I bet they feel me now. Don't let me lose it. The booth not about to prove it. I set goals and pursue it. You the best to never do it. Invest my money talking fluent, stupid, ducking the Judas. It broke my heart, but over my eyes, you have no honor, I have no choice. Chasing the commas till I'm gone. I've been left for a minute. On my way home, mama, I promise, got caught up in it. Damn. Everybody eats when I'm batting at the plate. First, second, third, home, $1 million base. Didn't listen to me then, I bet they feel me now. Don't let me lose it. The booth not about to prove it. I set goals and pursue it. You the best to never do it. Invest my money talking fluent, stupid, ducking the Judas. It broke my heart, but over my eyes, you have no honor, I have no choice. Chasing the commas till I'm gone. I've been left for a minute. On my way home, mama, I promise.
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
That Hotep Jesus dude.
Hotep Jesus? I love that guy. He's terrific.
What up, people? Welcome back. Grifty Tuesday. The grifters is out today. The grifters are out today. Insane. Hold on. Insane what we got going on today with the grifters. We're going to get into that and more. Sorry for the delay. My camera wasn't functioning. I had to restart the computer. Just a bunch of tech issues for no reason at all. Shout out to Syscoin. Best of Bitcoin, the best of Ethereum. Y'all buying in this bear market? Are y'all buying in this bear market? I am. Buy the dip. Shout out to my members in the chat. If you're not a member, become a member. Lots of great perks. Strong Dad Protocol. What up, bro? Hotep family. Haram Life. Jimmy Das. Jay Pylon. Tasha Kayleen. Renee Vogel. I see my wrenches. I see my wrenches in the chat. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Y'all consistent. Where we gonna go? Let's reach in the grift bag. Let's not waste any more time. Get your tickets to Hotep Con, HotepNation.com. Make sure you get your tickets. Hold on, let me save this document. All right, let me see that. I just want to make sure nobody's private information is on the screen. Oh, wait, I just got an email from an important person. Hold on, let me just check that. Okay. All right. Not exactly the news I wanted, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. It's okay. Let's go in the grift bag. Let's go here. The streets is watching. If there's any evidence that the streets is watching, it's right here. Oh my God. What is going on? As you can see, technology does not want to cooperate with me today. All right, here we go. Don't ask me what that's about. Let's go here. Go there. Boom. You see it on your screen right there. The internet's been watching. The internet's been paying attention. They like to act like they're not paying attention, but they're paying attention. Uncle Hotep and I covered this story on our show. Hotep's been told you every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we spoke about this. We actually said, who would be on your Mount Rushmore? And somebody went and created it. I guess this is your coon Mount Rushmore, your conservative Mount Rushmore, although I don't know if we can still consider Charles conservative anymore since cancel culture has made itself prominent. JLP, Candace Owens, Charles, and Sir Clarence Thomas. My issue is with Charles. I think we should swap out Charles and put Uncle Hotep there.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Uncle Hotep walked so Candace Owens could run. You got to remember, Uncle Hotep was the first black man with the MAGA hat on. How about that for Black history? Let me see if we can find that historic image of Uncle Hotep and his MAGA hat. And then I was introduced to conservatism. No, we're not going to fight it. I was introduced to conservatism via Uncle Hotep. And I thank him for it. You know, it was definitely a wonderful journey, a great learning experience. JLP, you know, I was invited to be on a podcast with JLP, not his podcast, somebody else's wanted us both there. I politely declined. Just didn't seem like something that was worth my time at the time. Not to say I wouldn't have a conversation with him, but, you know, I think he's somebody who deserves to be interviewed on his own. You don't need me there. Candace Owens, I had a great pleasure of working with Candace Owens in the past. Phenomenal woman. Two-time Grifty nominee. And Clarence Thomas, you know, Clarence Thomas, if it wasn't for him, man, we'd be in serious trouble, man. We need more. If it was up to me, the entire Supreme Court would be conservative. If there's any place that needs to be conservative, it's the Supreme Court. You want to have your liberals in your house and all of that stuff, you know, is whatever. It's not good, but Supreme Court, you know, if the Supreme Court were to ever get taken over by the left, oh my God, you pretty much kiss freedom goodbye. But he's done a good job. I know some people hate him because of Roe v. Wade, but I gotta tell you, that was the right decision. You do not want to get into a situation where you legalize stuff like that because it creates all sorts of legal ramifications, lawful precedents, et cetera, et cetera. And we just don't need that. Now I have some disturbing stuff I want to put on the screen here. You know, we was got to have a silly clip for the grifters. Welcome to the Grift Report. It's your first time tuning in. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. We almost got 100 in the chat. Let's play this video. I really don't want to, but this seems like we need to pay attention to it.
Do you know about childism? This term hasn't trended yet, and people aren't talking about this. I think it's totally valid. Childism is the idea of, well, sexism, racism, discrimination against your sex, discrimination against your race. Well, childism is discrimination because you're a child. Like, for example, if a student were to come up to me and say, hey, Desi, I'm non-binary, can you call me they? And I told that student, oh, honey, you're way too young to...
Wait, what? Yo, how did we get to pronouns already? Like, that was a huge leap. I was almost with this person. I was like, okay, where you going with this? Now, keep in mind, I hadn't watched this video prior to playing it. I saw Jeff Charles here. He said, abolish compulsory education in government-run schools. So I added it to the Grift bag. I figured this would be a good watch. And what? How did you just leap to... Is that what you think of when you think of childism? When you think of discrimination against children? Is that... Let me see.
To know your gender identity. This would not only be transphobic, this would also be considered...
Oh my God. I'm not smoking weed again until next week when I hit Miami. So I am sober today. And I just don't have the patience for this. I really don't have the patience for this. What? How did we make that leap? How? How was that leap made?
Childism. Not only am I not respecting their pronouns, I would also be discriminating against them because of their age. I'm saying they are too young to know what their gender identity is. You could do this in other ways too.
Wait, what?
Against them because of their age. I'm saying they are too young to know what their gender identity is. You could do this in other ways too. If you don't respect children's opinions, which are completely valid, that's a form of childism. Well, enough credit, because it happens all the time. Just like also be discriminating against them because of their age. I'm saying they are too young to know what their gender identity is. You could do this in other ways too. If you don't respect children's opinions, which are completely valid, that's a form of childism.
This is a form of confusionism. Creating confusion within the child.
Well, enough credit, because it happens all the time.
And what's up with these people's obsession with children? That's creepy.
Just like ageism is a thing, we are discriminating against old people.
Ageism? Yo, where do they get all these isms from? They just making them up. You can pretty much take any noun and just add ism at the back and somebody's oppressed.
Childism is a thing too. Children need more of a voice, in my opinion. So I'm a teacher. What's up?
I'm a teacher. That's alarming. Get this shit off my screen. Get this off my screen. What do y'all think about that? Thumbs down in the chat if you do not condone whatever the hell it is that person was saying. Thumbs down in the chat. What the fuck is them? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, let me change the title here. Liz Cheney's War on Trump. For the algo. For the algo. Too many characters. Hold on. Save. All right, let's get back to it. Lord have mercy. We're going to open up phone lines later. We got a lot to cover. We got Latino Nazis, Tucker leaks. Let's see what else is in the grift bag. Just some random grifts in the grift bag before we get into the hard-hitting stuff. You know, we got to talk about masculinity. Let's go to this clip right here. You know, we talk about dating, masculinity. All this stuff is quite important. Grinberg, let's see here. Let's pull this up on the screen. Let's play this clip.
Word salad. Can we talk about something else?
You had to get closer to the microphone.
Okay,
Even I can see that you're too
that
far
was
away.
a bunch of word salad. I think you're really intelligent, by the way. But can we talk about something else, bro? We've been on this for like 20 minutes straight.
I think we heard every third word you said.
Can we talk about something else? Because we've been on this for 20 minutes straight. Did you hear that one, Michael?
Okay, here we're gonna do. We're gonna shout out everyone on Twitch. Eric, could you pull up the Twitch? Jeremy, we'll get to that in a sec. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Man, now I didn't see the full video. You know, all we have is 32 seconds here. But I'm going to break this down from a psychological perspective. Also, a lot of communication is nonverbal. What do they say? 80-90% of communication is nonverbal. And his body language says a lot. And I'm going to show you where in just a moment. I'll pause it.
Okay,
Even I can see that you're
that
too far
was
away.
a bunch of word salad. I think you're really intelligent, by the way. But can we talk about something else, bro? We've been on this for like 20 minutes straight.
I think we.
All right. Now I want you to take a look at, I guess this is Mike's eyes. Now, you'll see this if you pay attention to people's actions. Sometimes somebody will be having a conversation with somebody over here, but they'll be looking at this person, and basically what they're looking for is confirmation and validation, or confirmation or validation. So he's not looking at the girl he's speaking to. You know, this is more of a, let me flex my muscles. Let me, let me dig on her a little bit because we're on a podcast. We want to get a little viral clip going off on chicks. And this is what I always talk about. Like when people do these shows, I've been on, some of these shows before, and I'm just not the type of person that wants to dig on anybody regardless of gender. Especially women, I'm not one to be like, oh, let me rag on her. Let me jump on her. Let me make her look stupid. It's never my intention to try to make anybody look stupid. I think I've reached a level of maturity where that no longer satisfies my ego. So that's basically what's happening here with this guy. This is not his podcast. It is not your place to say to somebody else, speaking to the microphone. Let the host do that. Relax, bro. Enjoy your time. You're a guest on the show. And his girl's in the wrong too, but we're going to cover Mike. Next. Don't bring your girl to these shows.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Why would you bring your girl? Why would you bring your girl? That was his first mistake. She should have stayed home. She should have stayed back at the hotel. Come, handle your business. Unless you guys are partners and you have a podcast together or something like that, then I can understand if she's a part of the brand, and I take that back. But if that's not the case, if she's just your wife, your trophy wife or whatever, leave her ass at home. She should be preparing dinner or getting ready for you to embrace her after the podcast, et cetera, et cetera. Now, let's go to the woman's actions. Let's go to his girl's actions. We've covered his social idiosyncrasies.
We heard every third word you said.
Can we talk about something else? Because we've been on this for 20 minutes straight. Did you hear that one, Michael?
Now, ladies, you never, ever want to embarrass your man in front of company. You just don't. You don't out peacock him. Now I can understand. Now let's point to her annoyance. Why is she annoyed? Well, I think she's annoyed, number one, because her man is addressing another woman, and usually women, especially hot chicks, usually don't like when you address another woman. The only person they want you fighting with is them. And maybe she just saw, how he was just, just basically out of bounds, right? Like it was kind of corny for him to speak up and say something like that. Again, it's not his podcast. And maybe something transpired before this where she got annoyed, et cetera, et cetera. But you're not supposed to do that in front of company, ladies. She's just completely out of bounds for talking to him like that and sort of making fun of him. You definitely want to do that. If I were him, she got to go. She got to go. I would definitely have to dump her after this. That would be it. That would be the last straw. That's a huge red flag. Huge red flag for me. Unless they had kids in a marriage or something. But if you're ever in a situation where a woman does something like that to you, is cracking jokes on you or, making you look bad in front of company, you gotta kick it to the curb, bro. She belongs to the streets, says the Haram Life. Yeah. So let's go back. Let's look at Mike's face now.
Okay, here we're gonna shout out everyone on Twitch. Eric, could you pull up the Twitch? Jeremy, we'll get to that in a sec. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Now, I will have to compliment Mike on his composure, right? And what's going through Mike's head is, at this moment, Mike is basically saying, okay, she's just violated me in public, on a stream, potentially, hundreds of thousands, millions of people are watching. So they witnessed you get embarrassed. And you're supposed to be like this macho guy. You got muscles. You're probably in a masculinity space or something to that degree. And what's going through his mind right now is, what do I do? What do I do? I can't, you got all these masculinity rules. You don't want to break them in front of people. It's going to destroy your ability to sell courses, books, or whatever it is, business that you're in. And in his head, he's just like, well, I can't make a scene. That would be bad. That would be very feminine. We'll have to talk about this after the show. But he does something I always mention in my book is, you don't respond verbally to women's bad behavior. You respond with a look, just like your mama would do. Jay's World says I covered this in my book too. Yeah, I did. You know the website.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Unbreakable Rules and Masculinity. We cover this. You fellas, you ain't got a copy. Get you a copy. So I do commend him for, holding his composure and doing the right thing, giving her a look. And, she knows she does something wrong at the end here. And she's like, oh, man, I messed up. I'm going to hear about this later. And it's not much I would say to her later. The only thing I would say to her later, let's assume I wanted to keep the relationship with this woman. I would say, are you familiar with, the rules of engagement, of being argumentative in public? You want to argue with me? Like, all arguments should happen behind closed doors. They shouldn't happen in public. Are you familiar with these rules? And then see what she says and how she reacts, what her emotional discipline is, what her emotional IQ is, and then pivot from there. But in 2023, when there's a cornucopia of women and you're a high value man, you just let it go, get you another one. Let it go, get you another one. It's a lot of fish out here in the sea, man. There's a lot of fish out here in the sea, and we don't have to tolerate bad behavior. It's not about the looks, it's about behavior. And we need somebody that's going to act like a lady. You look like a lady. You need to act like one, too. So, yeah, you know, Mike, you got to let it go, bro. Got to let it go. And this is stuff these are things, fellas, when you're dating, these are things you want to look for with women. You want to see how they act in public before you make them your girlfriend. And this is what I talked about menoforder.com with the $1,000 date article, et cetera, et cetera. You know, how does your woman act in public? And is she the one that's going to be feisty in public, et cetera, et cetera? And you got to filter her out. So that's your masculine advice for the day. Let's go back in the grift bag. We got a lot to cover today. Karine Jean-Pierre, our press secretary, she's up here looking grifty. We're going to cover what she got to say. Liz Cheney's attacking my president. We're going to cover what she got to say. The View is out here tripping. We got some big brain stuff to talk about later. Right now, I want to go to my homegirl, my Jew boo, Laura Loomer. What up, Laura? You're welcome on my channel anytime. Let's watch this clip.
Hey everybody, Laura Loomer here, reporting from Washington, D.C. in front of the International Spy Museum, covering the secret election summit that I've been reporting on, this exclusive story that I broke on my Substack about this summit being hosted by a group called CEIR, that stands for the Center for Election Innovation and Research. It was founded by a radical left-wing activist who receives funding from George Soros and Mark Zuckerberg. His name is David Becker. And
Damn, Laura. Calling out Soros? You calling out Soros?
inside the International Spy Museum today, elections officials, who knows, maybe your own Secretary of State, maybe your own Supervisor of Election is meeting inside this museum behind closed doors at a secret summit that is invite only.
Wow. Secret summit. How many of y'all know about this?
Total lack of transparency. And what are they discussing? They're discussing the 2024 presidential election. Hey Bill, how's it going today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. My name's Laura Loomer, and I was wondering, as a Republican and an election official in Maricopa County, why are you attending a partisan conference hosted by David Becker, who is funded by Mark Zuckerberg and George Soros?
Mark Zuckerberg and Soros. Man.
Can you...
Laura Loomer looks amazing, by the way. She looks absolutely amazing.
Can you answer the question? Because...
I like that hair color on her.
Because you're in the middle of litigation right now. You're in the middle of litigation right now with Carrie Lake. You're in the middle of litigation right now with Carrie Lake. Don't you find it to be inappropriate?
I don't know what's going on with Maricopa County. I don't know what's going on with elections. But I did want to put this on your desk because it came across my desk. And I thought it was something rather interesting to take a look at. Laura Loomer's usually got her thumb right on the pulse of things. Only you're not supposed to take somebody's pulse with your thumb. You're supposed to use your index and your middle finger. But anyway, she does a fantastic job covering these things, exposing things, running down on officials. I think you guys should definitely go out and support Miss Loomer as she goes around loomering people getting loomered, as they would say. And something to pay attention to. It's grifting season. It's officially grifting season according to Hotep Goldstein. And things are getting spicy. Let's go back in the grift bag. I don't want to spend too much time on this stuff. I got a hard stop at 4 p.m. I got to do an interview with somebody. And let's go into Tucker. Let's play the Tucker clip. Let's get this out the way, and then we'll dive into the deep stuff. I had not watched this Tucker clip previously. I told you guys Tucker is now like my new favorite person. I had no idea how great of a person he was. And there's a new clip that dropped. I had not gotten a chance to watch it, so we're gonna watch it here together, and let's see, what this new leak has for us.
I did. I talked to her at great length. It was actually pretty funny. I said, she tried to get, I was like, she's got a lot of liberals working over there. And, they see this as war. And we're the main force on the other side. And, like, that's crazy. If you've got pronouns in your Twitter bio, you shouldn't work here.
Oh, my God. Now, you guys are familiar with the Hotep trend that we set a while back, where we just point out things in people's bio. Like somebody says something blasphemous to you on Twitter and you want to respond, or most likely I recommend not responding. Blocking and muting is probably the best thing. But what we used to do is, it started out with BLM. This was many years ago. This was 2015, I want to say, maybe even before. But I'd express my views on the internet. Nothing that was trollish. In fact, the moments I was serious, I got more backlash than the moments where I was trolling, which I just thought was absolutely phenomenal, fascinating, and quite bizarre. But what I noticed was, especially when you talked about capitalism, at that time I was talking about black capitalism, buying black, circulating the dollar, stop complaining about whitey, that type of situation, do for yourself. And I noticed that every time somebody disagreed with me or argued with me, they had BLM in the bio. So I just started responding, BLM in the bio. That's just how I responded to them, BLM in the bio. And then it just got to the point where it was just so many things going to bio. And then everybody sort of adapted it or adopted it. I don't like to use the word stole because culture is to be shared. It became so much, it went from just BLM in the bio to rainbow in the bio to T flag in the bio to Ukraine flag in the bio. And then actually, you know what? I started out with favorite sports team in the bio. That was my first one. And I think about it, it just seemed like every time somebody said something idiotic, they had their favorite sports team in their bio. And as I famously said, if you're a man with a favorite sports team in your bio, you're not a man, you're a fan. Because real men, they don't put their favorite sports team in their bio unless it's their business, their brand. Like if you're commentating on sports, okay, that's your lane. But if you're just an average Joe, like you put your favorite sports team in your bio, like that's part of your biography. Like another man's dream is anyway. So I never really got that, but I noticed that it was very idiotic. And I think even the bot accounts, burner accounts, ghost accounts, a lot of them throw favorite sports team in the bio because people, assume it to be a real account. So it's a huge red flag. So when I see somebody saying, something stupid, I check the bio and usually you'll see one of those things, one of those red flags. I did get an email. Somebody mentioned me going on Fox. I did get an email yesterday to appear again on Gutfeld. I'll be back on Gutfeld soon. I think they invited me out next week, but I'll be in Miami next week. So we'll probably lock something in for the following Friday. So you'll see me back on Fox. And while I'm there, I'll put my resume in for Tucker's spot.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Let's go back to the tape.
Because we can't trust you because you're on the other side. And she goes, well, who? And I said, I'm not going to name names because I don't know who did it. And I'm definitely not going to cast aspersions on someone unfairly. Just because you're liberal doesn't mean you did this. It does mean you shouldn't work here.
Somebody at Fox was really upset to hand these tapes over to expose Fox. I don't know what Tucker did, but somebody's really upset to say, hey, I got some tapes for you.
And Roger would never put up with this shit. Why would you do that? Do you know what I mean? they see this as war. It's like, I'm not that. I'm an actual liberal. Like, I'm totally fine being like, our makeup artist is like a screaming lefty. No, but I'm not that way, as you know, but they are that way. And I said, I'm not ashamed of anything I said.
You now look like you recently had COVID.
I
you
did.
Look fresh-faced and healthy.
But do you know what I mean, Justin?
I had no idea.
If you've got like that horrible guy who was just horrible, who was Judge Janine's guy, I couldn't. Yeah, that guy is like a screaming left-wing lunatic. Why does he work here? What? He totally dicked over his anchor, and then we expect he's not going to dick over the network? Like, I don't have specific information on it, but I would. It's just. Yeah.
Trying really hard to find something to be angry at or mad at or what's cancelable about this video. I haven't found anything yet.
It's crazy. Yeah. Exactly. It's like I'm always telling my children, like, you know what the truth is. You can feel it. Don't lie to yourself.
You were in here?
This is the first time I've gotten it from all these years ago.
She's so great. Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson tonight.
He turns it right back on. Yeah, I don't know. Does the left think we're supposed to cancel him for this? Like, what exactly did he? Oh, it's the pronouns. We're supposed to be upset because he made fun of pronouns. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just can't do that. I can't do that. I absolutely abhor the pronouns. It is despicable. It is. It makes me nauseous. You know, the first time I got an email and somebody had pronouns in their bio, I'm like, I don't think I want to be in business with this person. This person to me comes off as, I'm going to make up a new term here, a proxy fascist.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
It's a way to impose culture on people. So it's like proxy fascism to deliver cultural Marxism. And these pronouns are like a way to like invade your life with some bullshit. Let's just call it spade a spade. There's no like, you look in a dictionary for the most educational word to describe what all this is, but there's only one word that describes it, and that word is bullshit. Please excuse my German. It is what it is. So, you know, him saying, you know, if I see somebody with pronouns in their bio, they're going around talking about pronouns. I went to my daughter's orientation at college. And I'm like, oh, this is great. You know, my daughter's orientation. Wow, you know, it's supposed to be an exciting time. And then all the kids get up there on the stage and they start reciting their pronouns before they introduce themselves. And I was like, all right, I got to go outside. I had to remove myself from the university hall. I removed myself because I'm like, I can't sit here because I'm going to get sick. Because I'm sending my daughter to this institution knowing that this indoctrination is surrounding her. It's a scary thing for a parent. It's a scary thing for a parent. And there's several rules I give my daughter. I tell her no communism, no blue hair, no piercings, no tattoos, and none of that pronoun shit. I don't play that. I don't play that. I mean, you want a girlfriend? I don't give a damn. You want a girlfriend, boyfriend? I don't give a damn. Just have good people around you. But we not doing the whole pronouns thing. We not about to start confusion up. I'll be damned. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. So I can't cancel Tucker. Again, they just make me like Tucker more and more. How can you not like this guy at this point? I haven't heard anything he said yet. I hope they keep coming out with clips. This is great. This is great content. Hope they keep coming out with clips. But I'm not here for the whole pronoun thing. Like, if you are cool, like, you know, that's your thing, just stay away from me. Please stay away from me. Really, really weird. Let's go back. Let's see what's in the Grift bag. All right, so we got to cover the E-Verify, and we got to cover these Nazis, and we got to cover SBF. We'll save SBF for last, and then we'll go over this other stuff here. Where's my E-Verify notes? Actually, let's do the Nazis first. Let's go to this clip. Let's go to this clip. I feel my intuition is telling me I shouldn't play this clip right now, but I'm gonna play it anyway. Let's see why.
Now, as many of you are tracking, we have multiple agencies and multiple countries working together to humanely manage the border when Title 42, public health.
Humanely manage the border. I could have sworn Trump said build a wall. I could have sworn.
Order lifts on Thursday, in just a couple of days.
And I could have sworn y'all invited these people here. Could have sworn they invited these people here, sanctuary cities, told them we'd take care of them. And it's turning out to be a huge problem. Let's continue.
Now, given all that House Republicans...
Because you gotta understand, like, through immigration, illegal immigration, you think that the best of the society is coming here? No, it's the worst of the society. The worst of their society is coming here. The best of their society would do things legally.
Have had to say about our plan, you would think they'd have some grand alternative. Just a couple of days. Now, given all that House Republicans have had to say about our plan, you would think they'd have some grand alternative.
Yo, Trump said build the wall. What part of that did you miss? And you guys told him he was xenophobic. He was racist. He was Latinophobic.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
He was suffering from Latinoism. Is that a term yet? We just made that up just now. What are you talking about, lady? Who put her up to this? Who put her up to this? Who told her to say this dumb shit?
But think again. Earlier this month, House Republicans voted to fire 2,000 Border Patrol agents. And this week, they're taking up a bill that would once again demonstrate that House Republicans are more interested in campaigning on immigration than actually solving it.
I wouldn't doubt that. Although, you know, I'm sure there's some nuance to her statement when she said House Republicans voted to fire, you know, X amount of Border Patrol agents. You know, what does that mean? Like, what is there? Because there's probably more to that. It could be, hey, instead of more of these type of agents, we're going to transfer those people or hire a different type of agent, right? Maybe this job that she's talking about aren't actual patrol, right? You know, these border agents might just be like office workers. And they're like, yo, we need less office workers and more people putting boots in it, putting some boots in these tacos. Oh my God, I shouldn't have said that. Apologize to the Hispanic community. It's just jokes, y'all. It's just jokes. Everybody gets them here on the show. I'm sorry, please. I'm sorry. That was savage.
The bill, H.R. 2, would be a disaster for border security and a Christmas morning gift for human smugglers.
I can't take her word for it, what's in this bill. I have to look at the bill myself. I hadn't had a chance to, but I'm not taking her word for what's in this bill.
It would lead to more unlawful migration by blocking off lawful pathways to protection. It would trample on our nation's core values and international obligations.
So now she's in her talking points. You know, when she's looking down at the paper. Kayleigh McKinney was way better. Even the Circle Back girl was better than this.
A boon to dictators around the world, and instead of
wait, what?
Values and international obligations, and a boon to dictators around the world, and instead of providing the needed resources for more border security technology and asylum officers and judges, it would waste taxpayer dollars on an ineffective.
We don't need no judges. Just send them back. Send the asses back.
Wall. Again, an ineffective wall that can't.
Eric Santos said, cancel Hotep Jesus. I'm sorry, bro. My bad, bro. It's Taco Tuesday, man. I had to let that one go, man. I had to let that one go. I'm sorry. Trish in the chat. What up, Trish?
Can't even withstand heavy winds, let alone sophisticated criminal smuggling networks.
Wait a second. Say that again.
Let alone sophisticated criminal smuggling networks.
Sophisticated smuggling networks. Is that what she said?
Let alone sophisticated criminal smuggling networks.
Sophisticated criminal smuggling networks. I remember when Trump said coyotes and people thought he was talking about some animals. Trump was telling y'all that they had a sophisticated criminal smuggling network and you said he was xenophobic. Now here you are circling back and doubling down on what 4-5 had previously said. Now, if you would have let 4-5 get the budget he asked for, the problems at the border wouldn't be what they are today. But such is socialism, where they create the problem so they can pretend to be the solution. Well, this problem has gotten out of hand and they have no idea how to fix it. So what do they do instead? Blame your opponent for all of your mishaps, all of your misdeeds, and all of your mistakes. Classic Saul Alinsky tactics. Rules for radicals. These people are radicals.
If the president were presented with H.R. 2, he would veto it. He won't let House Republicans make things worse despite their best efforts.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I don't mean to get big brain on y'all this early, but where's H.R. 2? Where's H.R. 2? What's in this thing? We got to look at it. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't proceed until I see what's in this bill. I'm sorry. Let's just take a quick look. H.R. 2, Secure the Border Act. Now, you said the president would veto this. So what's in it? Requires Department of Homeland Security resume activities to construct a wall. What? I thought that's what we wanted. So who stopped this? If it says resume activities, who stopped it? This was introduced in the House 5-2, right? 7 days ago. Provide statutory authorization for Operation Stone Garden, which provides grants to law enforcement agencies for certain border security operations, prohibits DHS from processing the entry of non-U.S. nationals arriving between ports of entry, limits asylum eligibility, authorizes the removal of non-U.S. nationals to a country other than the individual's country of nationality. So he can send your ass anywhere. That's kind of wild. But I'm not mad at it, right? Shouldn't have brought your ass here. How do you like the Bahamas this time of year? Or Cuba? Obviously, we're not going to send them to Cuba. We don't have that type of relationship. Expands the types of crimes that may make an individual ineligible for asylum. And this is the key word right here. Asylum. Who granted these people asylum? The left. Authorizes DHS to suspend the introduction of certain non-U.S. nationals. Imposes additional penalties for overstaying a visa. Requires DHS to create an electronic employment eligibility confirmation system modeled after the E-Verify system. And we're going to talk about this in a little bit. Is this the omnibus bill? Is this the omnibus bill that everybody's looking at? Hold on, let me see. Let's go here. And let's go here. Yeah, this is the omnibus bill. Okay. Yeah, I could see why Biden would veto this. It's some suspect things in here. Although I will say Biden's probably not going to veto it for reasons that we would veto it. You know, his reasons to veto it are why we would confirm it. But this is that omnibus bill. And I hate these things because they cram everything into one bill, and it's just like, nah, bro, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's it's hazardous. It's hazardous to the Constitution, first and foremost, because a lot of this stuff starts stepping on things like the Fourth Amendment, because it's going to require them to snoop around. But, it could make life hard in various situations. Let's see here. Prohibition against any jab mandate or adverse. I like that. Prohibition against any mandate or adverse actions against DHS. I like that. There should be a prohibition of jab mandates. We're not going to take our time and go through this bill. It's 213 pages. We're going to come back to it later, though. I see why my intuition told me not to go into that first, because it's a whole rabbit hole. So that's Karine Jean-Pierre. Let's go back. Where are we? Hold on. Before we get to the E-Verify system, let's go here. Hotep Goldstein put together this clip. My neurons firing right now. Let's pull this up. Put this on your screen just a moment. I hate how Twitter, I guess it's the aspect. Well, check this out. You got my neurons firing right now. How do they spin the? So this is yesterday's stream. This is a clip from yesterday's stream where we were discussing the Latino Nazi, the narrative when the so-called Nazi is Hispanic and they are so pro-immigration. A side of me wants to say, because if you look at the press secretary, what she said, they're trying to clamp down on immigration, and they might be trying to toss the immigrants to the side to a certain level, mostly because they might not win that vote, because all them Hispanics is going to be voting for Trump.
We all have to remember that the head of the Proud Boys, his name is Enrique Tarrio. The Proud Boys is a white nationalist group. Look, being Hispanic or being black does not, or being anything, does not make you immune from being racist, from being radicalized, from being a white supremacist, from being evil, from being homicidal. And we are seeing it over and over again. There are people, they don't see themselves as what they are.
Yeah. Another Hotep's Been Told You moment. Shout out to Hotep Goldstein for that clip. So now they're scrambling. You have to remember that based upon election statistics, who's more likely to vote, women or men? Women, obviously, right? They voted at a much higher rate. At least in the black community, it's that way. I'm not sure other races, but I'm pretty sure it skews mostly women. They don't need men anymore. They're getting men out of the paint. It don't matter what color you are, white, black, you are a threat. Latino, you are a threat. You got to get you out of the box, get you out of the paint. And we're seeing that now here. But the View is no stranger to attacking black men. No stranger to it at all. They're no stranger to attacking men. They're no stranger to attacking conservative men and conservative values, which are very masculine and sturdy and traditional. But hey, here we are. Who's that in the chat? What up, Jabari? Jabari in the chat. So the white supremacy apparently to them is going to be wrapped in brown. White supremacy wrapped in a brown wrapper. I don't know. I don't know if I buy that. I'm going to open up phone lines in a minute, but 202-596-5631. I'm not buying that. Now, is it plausible to have a Nazi contingent in Latin America, in South America? The answer is yes. We know Argentina has been practicing ethnic cleansing. I've covered that on this channel numerous times. So it's definitely possible. We talked about how many Hispanics can be considered white or classified as white. So, there's that whole thing. But I don't want to speak to that. I want to speak to the agenda. The agenda is an attack on masculine energy. It is an attack on men. And it's just that simple. And then they got nothing better to do but pull out their guard dogs, their attack dogs, women. Notice the view, women come out and attack us men. And that's what you're seeing here, right? That's what you're seeing here. Let's go back in the bag. Let's go back in the grift bag. And let's circle back. Let's circle back to the E-Verify system. Well, keep in mind, before we cover this real quick, just keep in mind, I don't think we have identified the Allen Dallas shooter. I don't think the gunman, I don't think we've identified him. There are some discrepancies in regards to the photos we showed on the show yesterday in regards to him being a Nazi. So yesterday it was, I'll tell you from my perspective. From my perspective, it was people are saying he's a Nazi, and I'm like, well, this is true, right? Because I know how the media likes to play games. And then later on, you know, a bunch of images were released. And then after careful inspection, it's like, okay, well, these aren't all the same guy. And it's like, well, then it was like, well, that's not the guy in the photo with the tattoos. And it's like, wait, hold on. Is he in those photos? Is he that Nazi guy? Or is this a psyop? That's what I'm wondering. Let's go back. So in regard to the E-Verify system, we got the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire. They said conservatives, fresh off of being fired and almost unpersoned for refusing to take an experimental medical treatment, I don't see how strengthening a national identification system could have any downsides. Dumbest people alive. Oh, my God. Oh, my. Savage. Libertarians go hard. They go hard. Pause. So let's walk through. We're gonna go to Rep Massey. We're gonna go to Rep Massey's timeline. He's done some research on this, obviously, because you know he's in Congress. Let's see here. So he says here, National E-Verify bill contains vague references to 2 pilot programs of non-photographic technology you must use to prove your identity to DHS in order to get a job. What is it? Fingerprints, DNA, retina? Why not just say it in the bill? Is E-Verify actually Patriot Act 2.0? And that's why I said you got to be careful with these omnibus bills, because that's exactly what you'll get. You'll get something that will, yeah, this is the same one I had up. Yeah, this is the same one. I just want to make sure it's the same bill I just found. Yeah. So you have to be careful because they'll slip things in there. Everything will be good. Then they'll put one line in there that will completely obliterate the Constitution. Specifically, like I said, in regards to the Patriot Act, that's your 4th Amendment rights and whatever else. 10th Amendment rights, afforded to the states. You know, the federal government tends to supersede them in many different ways. Let's go to the wording here. He has highlighted. Let's put this on the screen. Hold on, so you can see it. So let's just say, it says the director of the National Institute of Standards and Technology shall establish by regulation not less than 2 identity, authentication, employment eligibility verification pilot programs, each using a separate and distinct technology. And it referred to them as the authentication pilots. The purpose of the authentication pilots: provide identity authentication, employment eligibility verification. And this is what they'll tell you it's for, but obviously when you set a precedent, you know, it could have other things in it. So let's go to Rep Massey's timeline here. Let's pull this up. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, right here. If E-Verify background check system is twice as accurate as the NICS background check system, mandating it federally will cause grave problems for tens of thousands of honest Americans. NICS results in roughly 100,000 false denials each year with only 12 federal prosecutions. So he's pointing out some flaws with the current system. Then he says here, I hear people say E-Verify will be so effective at denying employment to illegals that millions of them will self-deport. For E-Verify to work that well would require biometric proof of identity for every American in a cashless society. Is this what you want for your children? Somebody responds, says, E-Verify has been in place for many years. I'm still waiting for you to propose a replacement system you think is superior. And here he goes in and talks about blah, blah, blah. But it's not the E-Verify system itself. It's not the E-Verify system itself. Like you have this person here, Travis Beck. He's saying all E-Verify does is confirm a signature. I'm sorry, I'm speaking in like crypto terms. It confirms your social security number and matches the name given. Calm down. But that's not really what he's talking about. He's talking about the pilot programs, and we just saw that verbiage in the bill, and that's really what this comes down to. It's about what are these pilot programs, and can we know what these pilot programs are? Because like he said, is this some biometric system? Is this the chip? You know, everybody's talking about the chip. Well, is this the chip that they're going to insert in us for this E-Verify system? Because if it is, it's a huge no for me for this bill, this omnibus bill. It's a huge no for me. I'm not ready for the cashless society. I'm not ready for your CBDC. We know the CBDC rolls out June, July or something like that. Or at least I should say the FedNow system, not the CBDC, the FedNow system, the railway for the train wreck that will be the CBDC as more banks close due to the Fed putting a squeeze on them, as they have historically done, as evidenced by my book, The Patriot Report, Unmasking the Conspiracy in Money and War. You can get that at
Hotep, you're a genius, HotepJesus.com.
Go get a copy ASAP. Available on Amazon and HotepJesus.com. But that's what the Fed tends to do. But anyway, this presents a huge risk to freedoms in America. And, you know, just to speak to this situation economically, obviously there's going to be some economic ramifications. You know, when you have illegals and you switch to legitimate U.S. citizens, along with that is going to come equal pay. A lot of these illegals getting paid under the table. They're getting paid, you know, less than, you know, the going rate. So it's going to chop into, you know, profits for some of these private organizations. And like Thomas Sowell teaches in basic economics, you know, it's all about trade-offs. You know, you try to do one thing, but it's really hard to calculate how many other things will break when you try to fix something. You try to fix this one thing and then like 20 other things break. And then now here you are trying to fix those other things. And as you fix those other things, you break more things. I get the response. I get the need. You know, I don't think you can do this sweeping overnight. I don't think you can. I think we need to, you know, if I were handling this thing, you know, I would start an identification program. And the only people I'm identifying is the people that are illegal. You know, there's ways to do that. You know, can we identify the illegals working? If we can start to audit the businesses and find out how many illegals are working, we're going to say to these businesses, we're going to say, look, we're not coming down on you. We just want to know. Before we do come down on you, we want to know. Tell us honestly how many people you got. And then we can start our job education programs. We can start reskilling people because there's a lot of people going to lose their job from AI. So we can start reskilling these people so they can do these construction jobs, this blue collar work, and get these skills. Because I'm telling you right now, these illegals got these skills. They know how to use a hammer. They know how to use a screwdriver. They know how to use these tools. They can put up some sheetrock in seconds. They know how to paint. And then I do flooring and roofing. They know all these things. It's going to take a while for somebody to catch up to them. So you're going to need to reskill people and get them in a particular niche, whether it's HVAC, plumbing, electrician, roofing, whatever it is. We're going to have to reskill some people and then start a program where we introduce them into those jobs and filter out the illegals. Again, you're still going to have to worry about economic ramifications because of the disparity in pay. And usually how the government does that is they usually do that through a subsidy. They subsidize the loss that a business would take. At least they do it for the banks.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
they do it. They do it for the pseudo. Well, if a banking, I guess it's quasi public, quasi private, the banking sector. Because depending on who you are, the government will bail you out. The Fed will bail out the government, and then we go into more debt. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, if you were a bank, they would subsidize your losses, assuming your bank was named J.P. Morgan.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
See what I just did there? But this is a huge problem. And to fix it is not easy. You would you've displaced the black community. You've moved them out of these jobs. Marketing Hollywood has treated blue collar jobs as if they're not prestigious, and white collar jobs as if they are prestigious. So you have women going into corporate America, assuming masculine roles, and corporate America is kind of feminine in many ways. So you have men who should be working with their hands there in corporate America to becoming feminine. I gotta get my coffee and sit at my cubicle, right? Let me check my calendar. Let me send some email. So it's very like feminine work for a man to be sitting on his ass all day. He should be up and moving and working. So you have that type of situation, right? Where the men have been emasculized, and they don't even view these jobs, as something to strive for, right? Then you have people coming from India. What are the jobs they want? They want to be engineers. They want to be computer engineers. They want to be engineers. You got the people coming from Africa. They want to be doctors. You have other people, coming into math. You have a lot of the Russians come over. Who else moves into those programming positions? Indians run into that's still computer engineering, I guess you can say. But everybody's taking these type of jobs, and then the blue collar work is basically offshored within our borders. It's basically what it comes down to, and it hurt the black community. But remember, black men, white men had to compete with women for the job market, and that hurt. That hurt. When you have to compete with your wife for a job. Imagine that. I actually had to compete with a woman for a job once. A woman I was dating, we applied for the same exact job. And I felt betrayed at the time. I felt betrayed. I felt like, no, don't apply for the job. Let me be the provider. I'll provide. I'll go get the job. And she still put her application in because she thought about herself. And this is the society that we have raised. And she ended up getting that job. She did get that job over me, and I was unemployed for a little while, so I got my footing under me. And so this problem is multifaceted. It's been brewing and festering for decades now. A lot of this stuff comes out of FDR's administration, Hoover, all their, introduction of all their socialist programs, et cetera, et cetera. I might do a presentation on that one day. Sonny Johnson has phenomenal work on that, by the way, FDR and the New Deal. If you ever watch our interview, go watch my interview with Sonny Johnson. And she goes into great detail into this subject matter. But all these socialist programs really destroyed communities, specifically poor communities, because that's people who need the job most. And then now we look, and it's a tragedy. It's a disaster. And now they want to try and fix it by putting chips in all of us. Make that make sense.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Let's go back in the Grift bag. Let's go back in the Grift bag. That was the E-Verify system. Hold on. Liz Cheney came after my president. Make sure you take, if you haven't taken your Master Focus today, take your Master Focus because we about to get into some big brain stuff. And we're going to open up phone lines, 202-596-5631, 202-596-5631. Liz Cheney has a war against Trump. Let's listen to it.
Donald Trump is the only president in American history who has refused to guarantee the peaceful transfer of power.
Oh, my God. We just started the thing. We're 7 seconds in and they're already lying. We're already lying. It's already hyperbole. So this is Con Inc., Conservative Inc. versus MAGA America. So populist conservatism versus establishment conservatism. Obviously, establishment conservatism has the budget to attack a former president. And it's only, proves how much they're afraid of this man that you see on your screen right here. Oh my God. 7 seconds in, she's already lying. He handed over power. He handed it over. What are you talking about? He held a rally, but he handed it over. Let's listen.
Donald Trump is the only president in American history who has refused to guarantee the peaceful transfer of power.
Joe Biden,
he lost the election and he knew it.
To become the president.
He betrayed millions of Americans by telling them the election was stolen.
Stop the steal.
He ignored the rulings of dozens of courts. Rather than accept his defeat, he mobilized a mob to come to Washington and march on the Capitol.
They just gonna wear that Jan 6 footage out, boy. They ain't never gonna let us forget Jan 6. That day in infamy. That day of infamy. They're never gonna let us down, man. I'm glad I wasn't there, by the way. I was supposed to be there, and I told people, yeah, I'm not going. I'm just, I'll cover it remotely, but I'm not going. I'm glad I didn't go.
Then he watched on television.
Can you imagine if I was in court? What if I was stupid enough to go in the Capitol? I just thought, hey, I was caught up in a moment, and I rushed into the Capitol, and now I got feds at my door. Could you imagine? Liberals would have locked my black ass up. There wouldn't have been no Black Lives Matter then. Let's go back.
While the mob attacked law enforcement, invaded the Capitol, and hunted the vice president.
I like how they cherry-picked the footage, too.
He refused for 3 hours to tell the mob to leave. There has never been a greater dereliction.
The sad part here is he told people to march peacefully. And they always leave that clip out. At this point, Liz Cheney's no better than Nancy Pelosi. This is terrible.
Of duty by any president. Trump was warned.
And really, I want to see what they're promoting at the end here. So let's see.
Repeatedly that his plans for January 6th were illegal. He didn't care, and today he celebrates those who attacked our Capitol. Donald Trump has proven he is unfit for office. Donald Trump is a risk America can never take again.
The Great Task is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Donald Trump is...
Wait, what did they say at the end there? I missed that.
Responsible for the content of this advertising.
Never take again.
The Great Task is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The Great Task. All right, let's look this up. What is this? They raise the money. All right. Figured that. I see Carrie Lake up here. Let's go to about. This is a PAC. Okay. Okay, this is Liz Cheney's PAC. Okay, now it makes sense. Does she have a search? There's no search button. All right, I can do a manual search with Google because I know how to use Google. Let's see. All right, so let's do DeSantis in URL greattask.com. I forgot the L. My bad. Typo. Okay, so there's no mention of DeSantis here. Oh, here we go. There's one mention. And it looks like some interview here. But looking at other people who are floating their names to run, where's the sort of line we are sort of crossing like Ron DeSantis had a big night in Florida. So Cheney, in response to this question about Ron DeSantis, okay, not seeing anything popping out. So let's go back. Let's do a search for Trump in that URL. And okay, so there's nothing about Trump. It's just his latest news. Interesting. Here we go. Threat to democracy. Anytime you see threat to democracy, that's a huge red flag. And see it twice here. Threat to democracy, danger to American democracy. Anytime you see threat to democracy, danger to democracy, it's just a huge red flag. More like a talking point, things people repeat. You know, sometimes people say it, they don't even know what they're saying. Election deniers, so they're coming after election deniers. Election denier. I see what's happening here. And that's all the blog posts on this page, it looks like. Okay, let's see the oldest one. Do they attach a date to it? Oh, it redirects to the Politico. Okay. They don't even host their own content. This is all redirects. Interesting. Wow. So they're not even investing in, okay, so one blog post. This is just trash. So, it's just weird. No, it's not weird. This is politics. Yeah, I don't want to say weird, but this is politics where it's dirty. It's grimy. It gets dirty and grimy. And this ad attacking Trump is to promote her PAC. Somebody nominate her for a grifty.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody nominate Liz Cheney for a grifty. Let's see who's up here on the grifties. Let's see who's up here. Joe Biden's winning. Dylan Mulvaney's at number 3. Ye is up here. All right, let's see. Whoops. Close that. Let's go to Cheney. Nobody's nominated Liz. Wow. Yeah, I got to nominate Liz Cheney. It's official. She's got to be nominated. Go to grifties.com. Please nominate Liz Cheney ASAP. This is terrible. So she's grifting off of Trump to promote her PAC. Savage. Absolutely savage. Let me reach back in the grift bag, see if there's anything else in here. Hold on a second. Let's see what's left in the grift bag if there is anything. Otherwise, we'll be opening up phone lines, 202-596. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm sorry. We got to cover SBF. I knew there's something missing. Let's go back here. Let's go here and here. So Sam Bankman-Fried, I hadn't read this article yet, but he's seeking to dismiss charges. Now, we all speculated based upon his connections, who he's attached to, close ties with the Democratic Party. Parents are attorneys, funded partly by BlackRock. I mean, I don't even have an email address to somebody at BlackRock, let alone a connection. So, this guy is very well connected. So we all assumed that he would get a slap on the wrist and sent home. I'm surprised he even got arrested. That was probably for show. It's like, hey, let's just get him arrested, to calm the people, because if we don't arrest him, it'll put more eyes on the case. So at least we arrest them and people feel better, right? And then get them out the next day or whatever. Anyway, it says the lawyers come out swinging against federal prosecutors seeking to preemptively dismiss most of the criminal charges made against the disgraced FTX co-founder and former CEO before a trial can take place. A late filing Monday by the fallen crypto mogul's legal team seeks to toss fraud-related charges that they argue are duplicative. Well, he had several silos, so, I can see why they'll be duplicative, and maybe that needs to stand, but let's continue. And also a campaign finance-related charge on the grounds that the charge violates terms under which the Bahamian government extradited Bankman-Fried to the U.S. to face prosecution. Bankman-Fried, SBF's lawyers filed 7 motions to dismiss charges brought against him, arguing that most could not be prosecuted by the government. The argument made by the former FTX and Alameda Research CEO's defense team also seeks to paint the trading platform's practices as standard in the crypto industry and lay blame with the U.S. government over its regulatory wrangling around digital assets over the last several years. Wow. 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 That's pretty smart. That's pretty smart. They said, you know what? Let's align with the crypto industry so that the crypto bros won't be against us, because the crypto bros do not like SBF. We know that BitBoy was down in Bahamas. He was down in the Bahamas tracking down SBF, communicating with SBF, apparently. Crypto bros are on his ass. Pause. And what happened? Now that what they're saying is, well, the platform's practices are a standard in the crypto industry. That's very vague. That's very vague. A lot of that comes down to how many assets you had on hand, or reserves you had on hand, I'm sorry. But it doesn't speak to a lot of the other practices like taking people's money and gambling on elections. You have a gambling platform. It doesn't speak to things like that. It doesn't speak to things like, which was not mentioned in the hearings in Congress, how they had messaging systems that automatically deleted internal teams. People were getting paid via chat apps. It just a lot of shady stuff that just frankly it wasn't being brought up for whatever reason. Bitcoin up. Shout out to Syscoin. But basically saying that we're going to blame the government. And in that way, the crypto bros don't have anything to sink their teeth into because they're on the same side in that argument. Crafty attorneys he's got at work here. Blame crypto and the government, not FTX, SBF lawyers say, calling the U.S. government's pursuit of Bankman-Fried a classic rush to judgment. Now, keep in mind, FTX was not operating like a crypto platform. They just, as you can see, because of the run, they didn't have people's money. They didn't have your money. They were, really, the way SBF was running his organization, or organizations, was very much like traditional banking. Traditional banking, as we can see, not having a 1-to-1 ratio of reserves to deposits. What they want to do is they want to leverage deposits and loan out money based upon cash that doesn't exist or exists but was created out of something that didn't exist. Anyway, the FTX and Alameda owners defense team argues that shortcomings leading to FTX's demise are common throughout the crypto industry. So this is like, that's an attack. That's an attack on the crypto industry, basically saying, hey, these boys do it too. Coinbase, Binance, etc. These guys do it too. And we just saw Bittrex got just folded the other day as well. They also contend the company's failure stems from a broader crypto winter rather than reported failure to back FTX native token FTT. And don't forget, FTX was raising money for Ukraine in the Ukraine-Russia war. It's also something to look at. Or secret loans from FTX to Alameda, alleged by both prosecutors and the bankruptcy team, put in place to manage the repayment of FTX customers and creditors. And I did a presentation, entire presentation on this. If you guys want to check out, the bankruptcy filing, we covered that in detail, page by page. You can go get that on my channel. Just type in Hotep Jesus SBF or FTX. Like many other cryptocurrency market participants and many other startups that experience exponential growth in a short period of time, FTX did not have fully developed controls and risk management protocols. Yeah, FTX, like other market participants, was susceptible to broader market collapse. That's the thing about like traditional banking. They are subject to the market. But if you have a 1-to-1 ratio of reserves to deposits, the market doesn't mean anything to you. I got your money. You gave me your money. It's right here. I got it. When you want it, you can give it back, right? I'll charge you a little fee, $3 to take your money out or whatever the fee is, right? I charge you a fee on each transaction. However, the bank decides to make money. But because there's not a 1-to-1, now you are subject to the markets because you're gambling. You're gambling. The modern banking system is gambling. I wanted to say for the 1%, but it's not that. I wanted to say for the establishment, but it's not that. It's gambling for a private group of capital it's a consortium of capital deviants, capital manipulators. A consortium of capital manipulators. Let's call it that. I'm always making up new terms here. A consortium of capital manipulators. And they like to change and make up rules. And when the rules don't work, they go to DC, and DC sometimes obliges, if your last name is Morgan. Anyway, in a motion filed with the Federal Southern District of New York, his defense team argues that a conviction in either of two pairs of charges would be a convocation for the same crime. Okay, all right. The early defense argues, I want to see what I don't see here what the response of the courts was. I guess we'll have to wait. So this is what his defense is trying to do. So if you want to know, like when we're looking at all these things happen in the news, all these different distractions, this, that, Latino Nazis, et cetera, this is what they're distracted from. The fact that Hunter investigation is about to proceed. These are the things that they want to keep hidden, masked, keep you distracted from. Anyway, phone lines are going to be open right now. 202-596-5631. 202-596-5631. Let me get the number in the chat. We're going to open up phone lines. I got a hard stop soon because I got a 4 p.m. interview Eastern time. Let's fix the screen here. Strong Dad Protocol, he said, I've encountered dozens of Hispanics who either identified with white gang ideology or were actually a part of a white gang. It's about philosophy for them, not race. They'll openly accept any Mexican. It's a common thing. Wow. Wow, that's fascinating. That's fascinating. What is this ideology? Like, what do they believe in? Is this a group about hate, or what does their agenda look like?
Call from
Rudy the Vet.
Rudy the Vet Russo. What up, bro?
What up, Hotep Jesus? What's up, brother? And I'm fired up today, boy. You got me riled up.
Uh-oh.
You got me riled up on this one.
Uh-oh. What happened?
So I'm about to go deep on you, all right?
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So we got a Mexican white supremacist.
Yeah.
Off a Russian Russian
website.
back up, like you said, the Russian website. That's where he posts all his racist rants, right?
Yeah.
That leaves a predominantly black and Mexican part of Texas to ride up the road to a predominantly white and Asian part of Texas and commit out a white supremacist killing. Yeah. And then the reporter that broke the story to the New York Times from a little outfit called Bellingcat about the leaker who identified and tracked down the leaker is the same reporter from Bellingcat who found all this information on the website. And if anybody knows anything about Bellingcat, it is a CIA operative. They quote Bellingcat. The CIA and intelligence agencies worldwide use Bellingcat as a reputable source. So that's how deep that goes, man.
Damn.
How about some just crazy Mexican went and shot some shit up, dude? How about we just leave it at that, okay? And then it's kind of funny how the Nashville Police Department's trying to sue to release that trannies, the Rainbow Warriors manifesto, but yet Bellingcat is digging into Russian websites to call this guy a white supremacist. So if everybody doesn't see the side out there, you're blind, and I can't help you. And Hoteps can't help you. You're just blind. Second of all, Liz Cheney.
Yeah, Liz Cheney.
I disagree with you about.
Okay.
You know, me and you, about 99% we're eye to eye on things, but you said there's a split in the conservative movement between MAGA and Big Con. Big Con is not conservative. Big Con is uniparty. It's uniparty.
That's true.
Liz Cheney is uniparty.
That's
they're
true.
uniparty, dude. That's why I don't listen to Shapiro. That's why, because they're uniparty, dude. They're controlled opposition. They're there to tug. Listen to what Ben Shapiro has to say. Oh, listen to what Cenk Uygur has to say. They're there. Ben Shapiro and Cenk Uygur probably sit around and drink beers together, man, because they're there to pull you in two different directions because they're both part of a uniparty system, dude. Hey, man, I'm controlled opposition over here. I'm controlled. They're there to divide you. They're not there to unite you.
Facts.
Immigration. I grew up in Norfolk, Virginia. I've seen entire black neighborhoods that there's not a black face left. It's all Spanish now, Mexican. Not saying they're bad people, not making any comments about their character. I'm just saying entire black neighborhoods are now Mexicans, man. Think about it, dude. Think about it.
You said what's all Mexican?
I'm talking about entire neighborhoods off of Norview Avenue in Norfolk, Virginia. That when I grew up, I was going to school there. There wasn't a white person. There wasn't a Mexican person. It was an all black neighborhoods, man. All black folks, man. No whites, no nothing. All black neighborhoods that are now 100% fully Mexican, man. There's not a black face. There's not a white face. It's all Spanish speaking folks, man.
Well,
it's all Spanish speaking folks.
Well, that's what I was talking about. In Jersey, you have one area, we call it New Delhi, and it's all Indians. And then you have Little Havana, maybe in Florida, but here in Jersey, we got Little Mexico. It's right down the street. And they have, no matter what hood you go to, whether it's Newark or whatever, Passaic, they're going to have a section that is a concentration of Hispanic people. They tend to do that. They have their own stores, their own shops. They got their own bank, Banco Popular. So that is very common. Yes, they've been migrating here for years.
Yes, I understand that, but I'm talking about, my brother, a whole entire neighborhood over a 20-year wingspan. When every black face has been erased from that area, do you not see, as a black man, do you not see what their plan is? Man?
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what many Hoteps have been talking about was the displacement theory, right?
Tucker says it, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's white supremacists." How about it's American supremacists, man? How about not saying, it's about black or white. It's about let's get rid of the Americans and bringing people from South America, man.
Yeah.
You know, people who came up with maybe conservative and religious family values and family structure, but have definitely been voting for communists for a long freaking time, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Definitely been pushing communist economics for a long time. Maybe conservative on the family side, but a lot of them countries in South America are very communist/socialist. You know, Maduro didn't coup the country. Maduro got elected in. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-oh.
He got elected in. So think about that, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He might be,
and who was the guy from? They tried to install Guido, right? I think it was some.
Yeah, Juan Guaido.
Juan Guaido, yeah.
You know.
They tried to put him in there. He was a DC plant.
Yeah. And then they kicked his ass, man, and they threw him out, dude.
Yeah.
He's walking through the Miami airport 2 weeks ago, taking lonely pictures, man. Taking lonely pictures.
Yeah.
But you know, that's about it, man. I don't know what else we touched on. This Sandbank, man. Dude's not going to jail, man.
No.
You have a left wing Department of Justice that's full of Harvard and Yale and Brown and law schools all over the Ivy League, and we're going to go get a job at the DOJ, and with a left-wing ideology, with a kid who stole billions of dollars from average people and gave it to the Uniparty because there's the Republicans on the list, and if you look at their names, they're Uniparty Republicans. That kid greased every palm he needed to grease to not go to jail when the thing came crashing down. You can look at who his mama is, look at who his daddy is, and you've exposed all of that. This kid ain't going to see a day in jail. He ain't no Bernie Madoff, man. Bernie won't grease and palms.
I mean, his family, you know, I want to say single-handedly delivered the last election. I think I could, you know, point to many different situations of how, you know, for example, his mom, Linda, she's the one that came out with that statistical model that was showing the Democrats how to basically combat money, right? Like, you know, campaign donations and strategically placing campaign donations in places where it makes sense to win certain districts. So when people thought, you know, the election was thrown, you know, I'm not here to oppose that theory, but I also want you to be aware of Linda Bankman, who had a statistical model, which was quite brilliant.
Yeah, that's what I just said. You exposed her, dude.
Yeah.
You know who she is. You know who the folks are,
and not
man.
to mention the amount of money that flowed through the FTX silos to the Democratic Party for the last election. So, you know, if anybody owes them a favor, the Democratic Party owes SBF a favor.
100%, brother. Yeah. But let me just hit you with one more thing, man.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why the conservatives / MAGA Republicans are gonna lose, man. And I'm gonna explain it to you.
Oh, tell me that, man.
Okay. Donald Trump went to a UFC event, right?
Yeah.
With, let's say, 50, 60,000 people standing on their feet cheering on him.
Yeah, that was the Izzy. That was the Izzy fight. Yeah.
Izzy fight. Everybody's going crazy. Jorge Masvidal. The crowd.
Yeah.
One of my favorite NFL team players was there. I'm like, yeah, look at this. This is how many people were sitting out front registering them people to vote, man? No one is a Trump crowd. No one is a Republican crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you look across like Alabama football game, a Michigan football game, how many people are sitting? Because it's all going in the mail, and the mail goes by voter registration rolls. We're going to mail out millions of ballots according to voter registration rules. Where are these conservative? Where are the MAGA people? Why ain't Trump got people at every sporting event? My brother went to a Billy Graham revival down here in North Carolina the other day to get the word, right? And he's showing me pictures. He's like, look at this, man, 10,000 people. I said, really, man? Was there anybody out there registering people to vote? No. Wow. What are y'all doing, dude?
Yeah,
what are y'all doing? Because they run around that dude. There's only one, man. There's only one. That's Scotty Pressler, man.
You just read my
one
mind. You just read my
You know?
mind, sir. I was just putting him on the screen. That's crazy. This guy, Scott Pressler, why am I not following him? I thought I was following him. What the hell's going on?
We need
but he
10 Scott Presslers in every state, bro.
But he last time I checked, he was going around teaching Republicans how to ballot harvest.
Yeah,
He's serious about his business.
Because he understands the game the game they've set up, dude.
Yeah.
The game they set up. Now, if you're in a Republican area and it's rural, you know what I'm saying? It's rural, and the ballot harvesting you might have to do a little bit more driving.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is getting the voter rolls filled up. So when they start mailing it out, you know what I'm saying? That it's getting mailed out to everyone.
Right.
You know, they keep sitting around waiting on the same day voting. You know, someone could blow a tire on same day voting. Someone's kid might get sick on same day voting.
Mm-hmm.
Someone might twist their ankle falling down the porch on same day voting.
Facts.
It's a new game. And it's a shitty game. I think you want to solve the problem, make it a national holiday. The only thing that's open is gas stations and grocery stores, and shut everything down. Everything. Nothing is opening on vote day. Nothing but gas stations and grocery stores, brother.
Yeah.
Not a fast food joint. Make it a federal law, and then kill all the mail-in crap. And then maybe we get a real election. But you know, if they're going to play dirty games with the mail-in, you better start playing their dirty games.
Mm-hmm.
And don't sit there and huff and puff and I'm blow your house down. Do something about it, right?
All smoke.
Hey, brother.
It's all smoke.
You got me fired up. You get topics. Oh, I mean, I ain't even going to get started on that damn e-verification crap because I lost a job, man. I lost a job. One of my best friends owned a construction company. Him and his dad started it, passed it on to him. And he used to use me because I could get on military bases, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the foreign nationals couldn't get on the military bases. Then there came a time where one or two of the foreign nationals became naturalized, and they made a loophole when the E-Verify first went out that he would verify his employees, but he never did. And then next thing you know, there were certain military bases, Camp Peary and Williamsburg, where the CIA Special Forces trained. I couldn't get on there because of my felonies. But they let a crew full of illegals with one of them with a good driver's license.
They more American than you, Rudy.
Oh, bro. And then one day my boss man looked at me when the base work dried up, and I was like, yo, man, can I go do some metal framing out here at this hospital?
Yeah.
And he looked dead at me. He's like, Rue, I can't pay you $20 what I pay a Mexican 15 for, man. I got to let you go. And I was like, you got to be shitting me, dude. And then the Mexican that he's paying 15 for is turning around. His guy's $12.50 and keeping $2.50 off every hour that they work, dude, because they're all illegal and he's not. So, times in this country, brother, and I'm not saying this. I mean, I'm saying this because, like, I sat around one time at my niece. It was her 16th birthday. We're in Queens, New York, and she's got a friend saying I'm Chinese, another one saying I'm Jamaican, another one saying I'm Korean, another one saying I'm black, and I said, I'm Haitian, like. They're all talking about their ethnicity because my sister's kid is half Pakistani, half Italian. So they're all talking. So I looked at the Chinese girl and said, really, what part of China were you born in? And she was like, I wasn't born in China. I was like, where were you born at? She was like, Brooklyn. I was like, could have sworn the people born in America were American. I looked at the girl from Haiti, looked at the girl from Jamaica, looked at all of them and said, you're all Americans. And I was like, and it's a rare problem that no other country has. You know, we all look different, but we're all Americans. So why don't they just there's been times in this country you shut all the immigration down. Can you give me a 5-year moratorium? I'm talking about not one H1N1B visa, not one. I don't care if you're from Europe. I don't care if you're from London. I don't care if you're from Australia. I don't care if you're from Africa. I don't care what part of this globe you're from. No immigration for 5 years until we get this shit sorted out. Hey, listen, man, and I'm still trying to become a member, man. I want to do a live stream with you, man, because I love you, brother. I got a call Unk the other night. Family game night got cut short. I finally got to catch Unk live.
Yeah.
I jumped on. I wanted to start ragging on him, but it seemed like he was in a serious mood, man, so.
He got a battery, on his Sunday show. It depended, what his battery at. But he got ADD too, you know. He don't take his master focus, so his ADD be kicking in. So when y'all be on the phones and whatnot, he don't be paying attention. You know, you got to know how to talk to Unc to keep his attention. And I think he was a special ed kid.
I was gonna dig in him from jumping on me on the Hotep. I told you when he looked at the chat that night. He's like, "Shut up, Rudy Exton, Pennsylvania." Yeah, I was just the only reason I knew Exton was because of you, man.
Yeah.
But he's my beard doppelganger. Man, we got the same beard, man. We got that polluted wisdom in our beard, man. That little gray in there, man.
Word.
I call it the polluted wisdom, my brother.
Yeah. I love it. Yo, Rudy, I got to get more calls, so I got to leave early today, man.
Go for it, brother. I'm sorry. Hey, I appreciate you letting me rant, man. Hotep and build, y'all, man. Wake up, man. Open your eyes, everybody.
Hotep and build.
I'm out.
Call from
Strong Dad.
Strong Dad Protocol. What up, Trey?
What up? Can y'all hear me good?
Yeah. We can hear you good. Talk to me, man. What's on your mind?
All right. So I know I posted that comment earlier, and I just kind of wanted to expound upon that.
Yeah.
Because I always get a little bit of Hotep rage whenever I see people, one, fall for the op, but two, classify things as ops without having any, knowledge of the systems that they're classifying. And for me, this rage is centered around, the Nazi conversation.
Yeah.
So, yes, there are dozens and hundreds of Latino Nazis. That you can go in any prison on the West Coast, you can go in any prison Midwest, and you're going to encounter shitloads of them.
How do you know this?
How do you know that?
How do you know this?
Oh, because I'm a ex-convict. I did 5.5 years in the Colorado prison system. I took what was called the full tour. The full tour is essentially you go from the max all the way down to the medium to the minimum where you can have free weights and a key to your cell. And throughout this entire time, there was two phenomena that I always found interesting. One is that most Hispanic gangs will accept any white person or non-black person into their gang, especially the Sureños. And then most white gangs will accept any Hispanic into their gang, especially the 211s, the White Knights, and the National Knights Party. Now, when people mention white supremacists or mention white supremacy, they kind of talk about it like it's this, one giant analogous thing, but it's not. It's actually, there are, in my state alone, there are over 40 different organizations. Some of them don't even like each other, but they're all centered around the ideology of white supremacy, which is not a race-based ideology. White supremacy is not a race-based ideology. It is an ideology based on winning. It is an ideology based on genetic winning. Even the Hispanics that join their gang are at the lowest of the totem pole. They are what we call train wrecks. When you're locked up, you may see a white dude or a Hispanic dude, a part of the adjacent gang, starting a fight or doing the thing that the shot caller is asking for. This is the same thing that, black gangs do when they put a young man on. Am I still being heard?
Yeah. Keep going.
Word.
Yeah.
So, like some black gangs, they'll put a young man on and then they'll send him to do whatever, some dude owes you some money. Yeah, go get that for me.
Yeah.
And so these are things that you'll see these Hispanic and white gang members who are part of adjacent racial gangs doing. They are their runners, they are their train wrecks, and sometimes they're their girls. So when people say, I've never seen a Latino a Nazi, or I've never seen a white supremacist. Well, I always think about this. These are mostly squares who are saying this. Of course you haven't seen one. You're not a part of that. That's the same thing as these white liberals, right? They march for George Floyd, but they never met a George Floyd in their life. And when they do, they're scared of him. It's the same exact concept for white supremacy. Most of these people, a white Republican, here's the thing. White supremacists and most of them, they're in prison, they come out, they don't drop their ideology. So when they're in there, they are very open about their beliefs. And one of the things that they do believe is that you have white people and Caucasian people. And white people can join their gangs, but Caucasians can't. These are the people who say they don't see white supremacy because they're not allowed in. White supremacists, they don't believe, that's like, they see Caucasians as coons. They see Caucasians as the black version of a coon or a boule. We don't, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so.
Sellout.
Yeah, they're a sellout. So these people are never going to encounter it, you know. And another thing that I want to touch on is this guy's tattoos, because I don't ever, you know, when something pops off, I won't speak for the person or the individual. I'll just speak about the thing people are talking about. Yes, there are Latino Nazis. Is this one? Who knows? I'm going to tell you why I don't think he actually is one. Those tattoos look fresh, and if there's one thing that I know for certain, it's that if you are a part of any white gang, to get those tattoos filled in, you have to have already murdered a black person. You have to extract blood. You see some guys who have this regalia, and it's got pictures inside the tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
This is an extraction of blood without death. You have those who don't have them filled in. They maybe fought a black person, or, you know, they jumped a black guy. So there's levels to their regalia. There's, you know, levels to their acceptance. And so when I look at that picture, I see two very large filled in tattoos that you won't see these tattoos on just anybody. I mean, I've encountered shot callers and all sorts of type. You know, we used to train in my lower class facility. We would do like a weight training class for some of the felons, and we had three shot callers in there who were part of the night's party, and only one of them had filled in tattoos of this magnitude. You can't just get them willy-nilly from a person who believes. You got to get them. For me, I believe he got these tattoos not from an organization. I don't personally believe he himself is related to this, but I need people to understand that this is a common thing, regardless of if he is or is not affiliated. And not only is this a common thing, this is deeply rooted in their culture. Most Hispanics identify with white people, and then you have the very, very few who identify with the worst ideologies that are perpetuated within that culture. So people can't play ignorant. And also, it could be a psyop, but every time you see something like this, critical thinking means not saying this is a psyop first, but actually doing the legitimate research. Because guys like me, we talk about this stuff on forums. There's plenty of places to find out the truth about, you know, gang ideology, especially their ideology, because they write it down. They have literature. So these things give me Hotep rage because I know so much about them. I mean, you know, when I was locked up, we had to share grounds, a campground for like you could go out and do like sweat lodge things and shit like that, but we would have to share them with a white group called the Asatru Folk Assembly. Asatru Folk Assembly, these people believe in the Nordic religion. However, they themselves, the ones who show up, they believe in Nordic religion in its you know, its authoritarian sense, not in its actual sense. And they will blend in with other white people who just identify with, you know, Nordic shit. And these people will get out, they will teach the religion and the ideology to their children, and these things, there's codes in their religion, in their ideology. It's like they have a codex essentially for a lot of these things. The same way the GKI.
Yeah, I mean most gangs have. Most gangs
exactly,
have a
right.
codex. Yeah,
exactly. They got a code of ethics and literature. And one of the things that is primary in the code of ethics is we accept anyone who's non-Jewish or non-black. They just have to be below you. That is their primary concern. And Sureños, who, I mean, let's just call it like it is. America is the reason Sureños exist because of their crazy immigration policies back in the day. But Sureños, they will accept any white person to perpetuate their gang and to make it larger. That's why Hispanics run the prison population, because they work and are in close concert with other white gangs. It's real simple. A lot of people don't believe it because they have little experience with these things, and they need to understand this because, you know, situations like this leave you confused. That's really all I had.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
With all what you said, and can you confirm that I've said on the show with Uncle Hotep that many Hispanic people are white? Have you heard me say that before?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. I just want to make sure we were clear on that because it's another Hotep's been told you moment. Now, as far as them being Nazis, That's new to me. But it wasn't unbelievable because I know the racism that occurs, not firsthand through prison culture, but thirdhand through prison culture, because you and I have conversations about this in the past, privately in public, and also because of the history of South America, Latin America. You know, I think my first instance was when I was younger, was this movie called City of God. And I found it fascinating because the black kid in it, his name was Blackie. And when I had heard about racism in Brazil, et cetera, and then I saw that, because this is, you know, based in Brazil, I'm like, okay, this is, you know, we call him Blackie. Although in the hood, you might have somebody called Black, right? But there is racism in South America. There is ethnic cleansing in Argentina. So it wasn't that odd to me. But I can understand what you're saying when people are saying, how could a Hispanic person be Nazi? Now, at first, I go, sounds like bullshit. Not that a Hispanic person can be Nazi, but just the fact that they chose a Hispanic person to be a Nazi in this case sounds like bullshit, right? Can you give us your opinion on, do you think this is a psyop? Because it smells like a psyop to me.
I personally believe that it is, based on just the tattoos alone. You know, they always try to show us some tattoos, and you know, the average person will see a tattoo, and also they see a tattoo, right? They see a swastika or something, they go, "Oh, Nazi." Here's the thing: Nazis aren't the only white supremacist gang. There are hundreds of them, and you know, lots of them use the same type of regalia, the same type of iconography. So, you know, you see someone with a swastika and you go, oh, he's part of a Nazi organization. He could be part of the 211s. The 211s is a white gang. The 211 stands for black killer, excuse my language, stands for, you know, black unaliver. But this gang is only Colorado-based, and the Knights Party are their mortal enemies outside of black people. They hate these guys the same way that old Nazis back in the day, the KKK, didn't like skinheads. So when people say Nazi, it's just too general. It's too general of a term. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
It's like, let's say these tattoos were real. He could be a part of, he could be a part of the White Knights. He could be a part of the National Party. You know, he could be a part of any organization. And they're not even, relegated to one state, and some only are relegated to one state. So you can never be too sure. But whenever you guys see tattoos like this that look so fresh, you have to realize these have to be earned. And there's no way he would be able to say, you know, to his shot caller, hey, I'm going to go do this. Let me get these tattoos. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
You do the work. You go to prison or you don't, but then you get the iconography, then you get the tattoos. And for me, this doesn't look kosher to me. It doesn't look kosher, despite all of my knowledge, despite what I believe or know about these things. This specifically doesn't look kosher.
Oh, it definitely ain't kosher.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say something about the immigration thing, because I'm a trade worker. You know what I'm saying? I own a business, Black Mountain Painting LLC, word up.
Okay.
And I have been in the trade industry for a while now, and one thing I've noticed is that most of these immigrants are not skilled. They are fast and they're cheap. You know, you as a painter, right? My work is predicated on a higher level of skill than, you know, say, slapping up a concrete barrier or something like that.
Yeah.
And so it's
getting it done, and then it's getting it done right.
Exactly. Getting it done and getting it done right. These guys, they'll come in, you know, they'll charge a customer $3,000 for a house that should be $5,000 or $6,000. It'll be literally 3 or 4 of them, and they'll all split the money, and they'll spray and pray, one coat, and disappear. And people will go, oh, they work so good. Oh, look at this quality. But then they call people like me to fix it. Yeah. And this is something any contractor will say, oh yeah, you know, they're going to call me and I'm going to come back and fix it. When we say that, we're not talking about the average American trade worker. We're talking about cheap immigrant labor. They call us to fix that labor because that labor is done fast. These people, they don't want quality. And I mean, to be honest, America is not going to be built. Like what we're trying to do now, the way we're trying to change society now in the trade industry, none of that is going to happen with the removal of these immigrant workers because these companies don't want to pay us. They don't want to pay us the money to do it. They don't want to pay an architect or a contractor big dollars to do something, 5 Hispanics will do for so cheap. And that's why infrastructure is so bad. That's why things need to be fixed over and over and over. You look at your roads and you go, why are my roads so terrible? It's because when they're fixed, when they're actually working on these roads, they're not following any type of protocol. The guy who's on that job site, if he's not a white dude, then the guy who's running the site, he's an immigrant himself. I've been pushed behind so many illegal immigrants despite my skill level in this industry, so much so that I walked out of this industry, among other reasons. And a lot of guys, they walk out and they end up running their own business because you're not going to be able to advance, especially black men. They'll advance. They'll put the white guy in charge of the Hispanics. Then they'll put the black guy underneath the Hispanics, even though a lot of black trade workers work hard as hell.
They do.
Hard as hell.
They do.
So, this immigration thing, man, I don't know what's gonna stop it.
Well, I just want to speak to something. Jay-Z has this line, and he says, in regards to his former artist that was signed to his record label, a mill, he said, if you're going to cop something, then you got to cop for real. And I think this rule applies in when you're hiring somebody to do some work and electronics, depending on how important that electronics is. For example, I bought a pencil sharpener, battery powered, because it was cheaper. It was not efficient. I ended up going out and buying the one that you would see in your school that you plug into the wall, and I've had that for years and no problems. It works wonderful. Same thing with the line of work you're in. You think you're saving money by hiring, one of these cheap, unskilled workers or low-skilled workers, but you actually spend more because somebody's going to have to come behind and fix their work. And I think that's very important, what you said. And that's very interesting. So how do you, looking at the dilemma that we have in Florida where they're trying to do the E-Verify system, what is the solution to that? How would you, if you were the mayor of said town or if you were the governor of Florida, how do you think we should combat, the removal of illegal immigration and moving some of that work to people who either have the skills or don't have the skills, specifically people who don't have the skills? Like, how do you even manage this? Because the Mexican workers are cheap, and it's gonna offset, it's gonna offset the economy some way, somehow. What do you do about that?
Well, I've always been of the belief that these employers should be held accountable. I don't think there is any type of system that, an immigrant is going to have to undergo that's going to stop these issues. It's going to have to start with these larger companies. These employers who are refusing to pay American workers what they deserve, what they're worth for quality work, that's the problem. That's the problem. I don't even think it's the immigrants that are the problem. They use them as a bullet. That's all they're doing. They're just using them as a bullet. Some of them I won't speak for, but others who I've worked with, they come over here and they bust their fucking ass just to feed their kids. Right. All right. I respect that. Yeah. I respect that. But I don't respect that the employer is going to, one, devalue you and then devalue me for purposes of making sure that I am not better, that I don't make more. So it's the employers, finding these employers, holding them accountable. Actually, so there's a thing called OSHA, and, they patrol around construction sites and job sites and screw you over if you're not doing something right. Well, where's the OSHA for these immigrants? Where is the OSHA for these companies who are hiring, who are outsourcing this cheap labor, or who are just outsourcing illegal immigration? Because sometimes it's not even that it's just cheap labor. It's just that they'll hire an illegal. They'll pay him the same amount. I've seen dudes make $25 an hour who don't have any type of ID, who are not a part of this country. They'll just make $25 an hour just because they're Hispanic. And that, too, is a big problem.
Wait,
So
what do you mean just because they're Hispanic?
Because they you hire one and I was about to say something racist just now, but you ask for you get the whole burrito. You buy one, you get the whole group. They all show up. So it's like, for example,
more bang for your buck.
More bang for your buck. I want to paint a 3-story house, and Trey's company, my company, they charge way too much. But this one guy right here, this Hispanic, I'm gonna pay him the same amount because Trey only has 3 people that work for him, and he's gonna charge so much because he's got to pay those 3 the same amount. But this Hispanic dude, I'm gonna pay him.
Yeah,
just him. And he's gonna bring 5, 6, 7 dudes, and I don't even care if they're not on contract. I don't even care who they are. I just care that the job gets done. And this happens a lot. It happens a lot. And so that's what I'm saying. It's the employer's fault. It's the employer's fault. I get it. Things are expensive, but come on, man. Like, we're all getting displaced. Every American, not just black people, we got displaced. Now they're displacing white people. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop.
What do you see the future for Black America, Black men specifically, in regards to this problem? I mean, you can take a look at, what has happened to Black men in the past because of this displacement. Somebody correct me in chat, it's called a displacement policy. But we've seen what it's done already. But what is the future for the Black man?
We're going to split into 2 groups: those who do and those who don't. There's going to be Black men who either they're going to withdraw and they're going to start their own businesses. They're going to do like I and many other Black men did. They're going to be like, you know what? Screw you. I know my worth, and I'm going to charge my worth on my own time. Right? You're going to have those. And then you're going to have the other ones who still have this like mindset that everything that happens to them is a part of their victimization, and everybody is going to be always pushing them down. And there's not going to be a middle ground anymore, because the middle ground, that common sense ground, is starting to take action now. So, you have a lot of Black men who've already started their own businesses, who go and they start larger construction groups now. This is more of a common occurrence, or more of an occurrence than it was before. So now when we look at displacement, what's going to happen is they're going to start displacing, I think that Black men are going to be okay, to be honest. We're always going to be the enemy, but I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be the ones who set the charge for motion, and either you're going to, one, like I said before, be on our side or be on the other side. There's not going to be a safe space in the middle for anybody anymore.
Do you see white men being affected by this?
Hell no. You know why? Because white men have done a great job of teaching their children trades. And so they are legacy trade workers. They are, legacy construction workers, legacy blue-collar workers. And this is unfortunate because we're only starting to do this now in the Black community. But white men, they're going to be all right. They're just going to create a new field. That's it, And also, poor white folks that get displaced, like, they're going to follow the Black men who are trying to do something. That's something that I even notice out here, is that poor white men will follow Black men who do over white men who do, because Black men who do have this get it from the ground mentality, whereas white men who do don't necessarily have that same type of mentality. Or if they do, the way that it's displayed is not appealing to the broke man. So honestly, I think the women are going to be. I think the women are going to be the ones who are screwed in the very end.
The women are going to be screwed in the very end.
I think the women are going to be the
before
worst.
we get to that, just want to double down on what you said. White men aren't going to be affected by this. Definitely not like Black men, because white men are legacy blue collar workers, and I think that is so true. They got the landscaping companies, the painting companies, They're all like Italians. Shout out to the Italians. They're all, Italians, whatever. And like you said, they're teaching their kids this. and the kids are coming up with the trade. But let's talk about the women. You said the women are going to be affected. Please, somebody said please have him interviewed. I brought him on the channel before. We had Black Mountain on this channel before. Strong Dad Protocol. Make sure y'all check that out. But yeah, tell me, how do you imagine women being affected by this?
So I see women being affected by this just primarily because those who are, the men who are bringing home the money for their families who are not able to get this work, obviously the women are the ones who end up holding the brunt. Women nowadays, if a man cannot make or do as much, then you'll see a woman will just say, all right, well, I'm going to go make the money. And that to me is where we're going to suffer. As you see men who lose their jobs, you're going to see women who take up the mantle of home earner. And that's a detriment to women. That is not a benefit for women. Having a man with nothing to do, having a man with no drive, having a man with, who's been broken and destroyed and is just sitting on the couch upset that he can't get work over the last guy, that's a detriment. That's not a benefit for a woman. And, before it was, well, I'm going to just leave him and marry a guy who's doing it. Now it's, I'm going to become the CEO. So personally, I think that this is going to push women into the field. That's not a good thing. Also, just for Black men specifically, as Black men start to do, we're going to start to separate ourselves from the women entirely in that respect. When we look at the struggle and all that, we try to, come together and say, well, Black men and women, yada, yada, yada. Black men are getting fed up. we're getting fed up. And so we're less likely to drag these women with us to the top, not talking about my wife because she's the shit. But,
shit. So you saying we're going to be looking outside the race for a spouse?
I think so. I mean, they use business to separate us. They do, they did that with associate degrees and, nursing, right? They, all these Black women got associate's degrees and are in nursing, but they ain't making no money. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these fields that they were in before, they're not cutting it. They're not cutting it. Nothing is cutting it. People need to evolve. And the Black men, the men who are being forced out of positions, they're going to evolve. And those who aren't forced out of this position, those who stay there, they're not going to progress. And their women are going to take charge. And then that's going to destroy their family. That's
and in the end, it hurts the children. It hurts the next generation.
And in the very end, it hurts the children. Because then the children, they don't see, they don't see working dad or, see the family, like seeing the family split up or seeing your mom do the dad's role it warps the thinking of a child. So our children are going to suffer a lot.
Yeah, they're going to grow up trying to figure out what their pronouns are.
Exactly. They're going to grow up trying to figure out what their pronouns are, and they're going to be afraid of hard work. And that's why I say, like, this is the time for men specifically to start to work together more than ever to actually build, things. And also, if you can't code, fucking do some trades, man. Like, if you can't code, why are you filling out an application at a McDonald's, at a Sam's Club? Let me tell you what.
Target.
This right here, it upsets me. So I'll go out on my normal day, running errands or whatever. I see a Black dude working at a grocery store or doing like a, food pickup service or whatever. If I see a brother, I'll stop a brother and be like, hey, how much money you making? You want to make more money? I can, make you more money. You won't have to work as hard or as many days. I try to offer him that. And this ideology, oh man, I'm just trying to hold this little job. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to, like, nobody wants to put their knuckles in the dirt anymore. And that's a big problem.
Wait, let's talk about that. So you're offering a Black man a job and he rather go to, some franchise. Yeah, big corp.
I'd rather hold this little job is the thing that I've heard the most.
What is that? What
I'm
does
just
that
trying to
even
hold
mean?
this little job. What is I don't know what it means.
Is that complacency?
That's complacency and defeatism. It's defeatism. They think that there's nothing better. you got to have a man to teach you how to be a man, and a lot of these men never had that. So
I feel like,
you know,
I feel like they'll find it easier, or they think it's easier to just walk around Walmart, you know, shuffling boxes on shelves, and there's not much work they can play on their phone, as opposed to
That's
coming
right.
work with you and doing some real work, you know, 9 to 3 or whatever those hours might be. Probably not even that. And you said, like you said, you get paid the same amount, work less days. And they're like, nah, because I don't want to actually work for my money.
That's right. But then they want to complain that they don't got no money to take women out. Like, you ain't spending $1,000 on your first date if you working for Amazon. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But if you take my offer and come to work with me, right, then you're going to be able to have 10 first dates in a month. You can have as many first dates as you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
you got to
the
build
barrier
together.
is thick, and some people are just afraid to cross it.
You know, it's funny. I had a friend who would he'd bounce around from job to job, you know, working for the movie theater or Walmart or something like that, right? One of these wage jobs for big corp, right? And when he'd get fired, sidebar, one time he had to stop working so many hours because they was going to take away his welfare. Like, they said he worked too much to qualify for welfare. Anyway, so he had this issue with big corp. And to make ends meet, he would go work with his dad. His dad did construction. Now, I'm thinking to myself, like, your dad can't be a young man because you're, you know, damn near 30. So your dad's been doing this his whole life, and you still haven't, you know, taken over his business per se. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, bro, like, why don't you just do the construction work and blow out that business? You could be the boss. You know, if my dad was paying me $10 an hour, right, or whatever he's paying me, I would take half of that, find somebody, might be Mexican, and sit on a job and let him do the work, and I'd be working on my next business, you know, my next e-com business or whatever it is, right? That's what I would do. I would subcontract the work out if I didn't want to do the work, and then just be, you know, the foreman on the job.
Which isn't a hard thing to do.
It's not. It's not. You know, and I'm just looking like, yo, how are you struggling out here job to job, and your dad's backed up on jobs? If I were you, I'd be trying to figure out how to get some more employees and, you know, make this legit business. Then I had another kid. This is different. He was working in Korea. And he took one of my classes. I used to do classes on Saturdays with people. Those are coming back with Master Focus. You know, he was saying, you know, what should he do with his life? Should he go back to Korea and teach now that he's in here in America? You know, his life is different because he's been in Korea for so long. He's trying to get adjusted. And he was talking about, like, going to work for a corporation. So I asked him, well, tell me what's going on with your life. Give me a bigger picture. Come to find out, his parents have, like, you know, 100 million acres. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but there's huge amount of land in California. They run their own business. And I'm like, why don't you just join your family's business? And he was like, and he started telling me some reasons why. And then as we worked through them, I showed him how to alleviate those concerns. Fast forward, and now he's running his parents' business. Got a bigger budget. He started doing some marketing, overhauled the website, and great things happen. I just don't understand why people just, and the thing is, you got to remember, when they talk about who runs the world, what do they say? It's these families, these families. So what does that tell you? Family is the strongest organization on this planet.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, I think that it's this living wage thing that has ruined it.
Yeah.
You know, I can speak personally I have a friend who has asked me for a job about 5 or 6 times now since I started this business. And each time he asks me, I always try to press him for how much work he's willing to do. And the last time I just asked him, well, how much do you want to get paid? And he said, well, you know, whatever you make, I'm trying to make, you know, close to that because I'm looking for a living wage.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the problem. Y'all out there have to earn your living wage. You don't just get it.
Yes.
You don't show up to my company and tell me that you're worth what I'm worth. You prove it on the job site. And if you're not worth what I'm worth, you don't get a living wage, my brother. I'm sorry. You get what you earn. You get what what you're actually worth. If I have to go back behind you and retape everything, recaulk a whole house, you know what I'm saying? If I have to be on you more than I'm on my ladder, pause, then you definitely don't deserve to make what I make. And this is something I've encountered a lot with people who are looking for work, and I offer them work and I ask them what they want to make. And they're like, I'm trying to make $6,000 a month or something like that. And I understand. Yeah, everybody would like to make, $6,000 a month or more, right? I'm sure.
Yeah.
But you don't know how to paint. You don't know how to hold the brush. You dropped a ladder on my car. So these things like this stuff is a big problem. And this is a reason why I think that these young men who I offer work to and other people who aren't out there trying their best is because they've already secured something that's going to give them 21, and they don't want to work hard for something that's going to pay them more in the future, knowing that it's going to pay them less at the present moment. And that's a big thing. Like the reward centers are all screwed up. They think that it should happen right there, but you got to work for that. Like I had to be a shit kicker for a long time and be talked to all sorts of crazy ways before I even made it to this point. To look at a customer and tell a customer, that their cabin refinish is going to cost X amount of dollars because of who I am, took me years to be able to say.
Yeah.
And so these young men, these young men are emotionally bankrupt. They're just lost. They don't have any guidance, and media is not doing us any favors with this pronoun crap or any of this stuff, trying to feminize these young boys, all of this stuff, trying to convince women that they can take the role of the man, everything is backwards. Everything is backwards. And it's always a Hotep's been told you moment every single time.
Never fails.
Never fails.
Never fails. Strong Dad Protocol, y'all.
Amen, man. Later.
Hotep and Bill, bro. I'll see you later.
Hotep.
Man, powerful call. Only reason why that went long is because the dude I'm supposed to do the interview with. I'm texting him right now, and he's like, he was supposed to send me the link 18 minutes ago, and now he's saying, I don't even know what is this? Is this 20? Is that all right? So he sent it to me 24-hour clock. So 21:45 would be what, 7:45? Well, what time zone is that? Why is he tweeting to me in 24-hour clock? 21:45. That's 7:45, right? In regular time, right? Standard time. I'm gonna keep taking calls till.
Call from
The Intelligent 1776 out of California.
to accept.
Intelligent 1776. What's up, man?
What's going on, Hotep?
Oh, 5:45. All right, what's up, man? How you doing, man? Talk to me. What's on your mind?
So, I guess I tuned in right at the right time, listened to the calls, and yeah, I'm just like, man, everybody's just on their knowledge. Everybody's so studied, and so like, I basically, I'm out here in California, out in California, out in LA, and I realized like, hey, you know what? Everybody talks a lot, and nobody does, stuff. All right, I'm in my little groups and whatnot, and so I got a mind to register voters, brand new citizens at their little ceremony. So I went and did that, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I learned a lot.
Yeah.
So basically, now that I've learned a lot, and the first time they do this about once a month. So we're gonna do this on the 24th this month, May. It's a Wednesday. If anybody's out there in California,
What
wants
does it
to
look
help
like?
out,
Tell me what it looks like. What happens?
So basically, the citizens, they line up, and the county's out there. The Marxists are out there, right? And they basically are giving them all this paperwork, to register, and they're basically just saying, "Oh yeah, they're probably all registering Democrat and stuff like that." And some of these people, the language, their first language is in English, so they think, "Oh, Democrat, democracy. I'm gonna check that one." So yeah, they're literally there.
So
There was nobody
you're a
else.
registering voter?
Yes, sir. The brand new citizen. So basically, what we're going to do.
But are you piggybacking another event too, or this is an event you created to register voters?
So I'm piggybacking on the naturalization ceremony.
Ah,
so
okay.
that's what I'm doing. Yeah, so I'm going over
That's
there.
smart.
Yeah, and so I learned so much doing that. You know, like I think I only got like 2 registrations for the first one, and then I was able to snag I think 13, 14. You know, during the second one during the day.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot. So now we're going to go back real hard. We're going to go back real strong. We're going to make this a party for them. We're going to save them from Marxism, which their families have fled. We're
Okay.
going to save them. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So if anybody's out in California, Pasadena area, Los Angeles County, they want to come help out. It's okay if I give this phone number out so they
Do
can
it.
call, text. Okay. This is 626-600-8130. Again, that's 626-600-8130. And we're going to go out there and we're going to make it a party for them, because who wants to join a party that's no fun?
Right.
Right. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to save them. We're going to have an NBA style lineup and say, thank you, welcome, you know, congratulations. That's what we're going to do for them.
And free
Because,
food,
man. To these new citizens, because otherwise they're just, you know, be generic, you know, standard Democrat. That's what they're going to register as for the most part, because they have no idea. So we're going to have to educate them right then and there. I mean, as it is, they're already more educated than your average American, right? Because you have to pass that citizenship test, right?
Yeah.
So these people are primed. They did the work. They're ready. So we're going to turn them into patriotic Americans. They go to meetings and stuff like that. That's what the goal is. We got to get them into the fold. And then so I'm part of a bunch of organizations out here in California, and patriot organizations, but right now I'm pushing hard the California Republican Assembly, because it's a grassroots organization out here. I think they have them in other states, Republican assemblies and whatnot, but essentially what we need to do is have a club for people to join.
Yeah.
So it's not just, the election. You know, you vote this way and then we forget about you. Because that's really what politics is at this point, right? There's no like club. I mean, they have like Rotary clubs, Lion Club. I mean, some of them are more Masonic than the others. I mean, in a lot of cities out here, you'll see the Masonic symbol on the street, for crying out loud, you know? So I don't know anything about that, but what we got to do is basically like, you know, when you go door to door, right? You go canvas and stuff like that. It's hard work. You know, I've done door-to-door sales, right? So like, you don't want to just go to somebody's door and not get a sale out of it. So that's basically what we're doing.
That's dope, man. Best of luck to you.
Yeah.
That's what you need, man. Organization.
Exactly. So that's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
And a lot of the organizations have been actually doing just that, doing door-to-door stuff. So
Well, that's what you know. That's what Hotep Nation's all about, man. We're all about organizing. You coming to Hotep Con?
You invited me last time I called in, and it's in Vegas, so I'm probably gonna join and go ahead and go check y'all out.
He's coming, y'all.
I mean,
that's dope. I can't wait to see you there, bro.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm not the smartest guy. I need help. You know what I mean? So I'm looking for everybody else who can, you know, put some gasoline on these little fires that I've been starting. That's really what it's about, because California has potential to, you know, actually lead again the right way, but it's just, you know, people are lazy. They got to work.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah.
They got to work, man.
Word.
Doesn't start.
All right. Well, good luck to your event, man. I'll see you at Hotep Con, bro. Got the phone lines hot.
Absolutely.
All right, Hotep and Bill, bro. Dez over on Rumble, he said, question, how can immigrant workers afford to live with charging low prices? The government subsidized welfare food stamp. Without that subsidy, they would demand market wages and raise skill. I think it's because they're all shacking up in one house. They're shacking up in one house. They're sharing a car. You know what I mean? They pull up to work, 20 of them hop out that bitch like a goddamn clown car in a circus. But they're not the only group that does it. I've seen the, you know, the Pakistanis come here. You know, when I used to live in the hood, the rough part of the suburbs, you see 20 of them in one apartment. It was illegal, but they did it. Steph, what up, man? Talk to me, bro.
What up? How's it going?
Life is good, man. What's on your mind?
Hey, I just want to say that, you know, shout out to Trey for his take, because his takes like his are really important because of the fact that, you know, when you hear the left or the detractors of Nazis talk about Nazis, they're talking about from their perspective. They don't actually allow people who quote identify as that to even have a voice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're always going to get one side. You're always going to get one side of the story, and you're never going to get the complete side of the story. So
Absolutely.
It's always good to, you know, have that real perspective. You know, talking to people who are actually outside, so you can push through all the garbage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, you're gonna need those voices. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I was spamming the interview in the chat. Make sure y'all go watch those interviews, man. Those interviews were fire. Trey breaks down a lot of the different gangs and stuff like that you know are active and whatnot. So
and Black Lives Matter and how his movement
and
got
Black Lives Matter,
co-opted, infiltration
Yep.
by the white liberal. Yeah, we talked about a lot.
Yeah, that was a fire interview, man.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Like I said, other than that, just people keep your kufi on tight. Keep your critical thinking cap on, and don't fall for BS. You know what I'm saying?
And don't forget to come to Hotep Con.
Yeah, we coming to Hotep Con, bro. I'm not missing. I already told you, I'm not missing Hotep Con. Only reason I'll miss Hotep Con is this job opportunity. Other than that, I'm not missing Hotep Con. I'm coming. It's on.
All right.
Pause.
Pause. Yeah. Oh my God, that was
Pause.
filthy.
My bad.
Coupon code Hotep Jesus, 10% off. We got you, bro.
All right, man.
All right, Hotep and Bill. Step Colonel on the check-in. I think Jonah Ryan was trying to call in. Jonah, I see you. I see you, Jonah. I think that's you, Jonah. I think I know your number by heart now.
Call from.
I knew it. Jonah, what up, man?
Well,
how you feeling, man?
Two things real quick.
Okay.
I'll be quick today, and I'll just keep it in line. With what Rudy said, I respect his opinion and all, but Bellingcat's not CIA. He's definitely something else.
First of all, wait. First of all, he didn't say they were CIA. He said CIA references them a lot.
Yeah, okay. Well, but that's sorry, I misunderstood it then, because I'm also working, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm always on here. But yeah, no, it's definitely something where they actually do a thing on their website where they promote it.
Yeah.
But then he also does an interview where he specifically says that he's not them. So he's definitely not their agency, right? It's only the one agency that's mentioned, right?
Yeah.
So he's definitely naming that agency because he's working someone else. But then the other thing on the immigration, I know, like as long as you and I've been alive, they always say it's like 11 million, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's be honest. So if it's doubled in 40 years, you and I've been alive, let's say 22, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how the fuck does an entire population of Canada work within your country without paying taxes?
What do you mean?
Well, if it's around 22 million, I mean, how do all these people work, like all these immigrants, how do they work without any taxes? The IRS is going to come after an American for $600 for transfers. But you can have 22 million and work it for free?
Well, I mean, we subsidize that.
You're asking who's to blame. You're asking who's to blame? The government. How are you gonna have that? How are you gonna have that many million people work without paying a tax if you say tax is required?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a good question.
Like literally, I would say the entire population of Canada lives within your country. And I'm not gonna hate on them because I did it in my teen years, right?
Yeah.
But when an entire population of our country can live in your country with a smaller square mileage or square kilometers,
mm-hmm.
and not ever pay any tax, it doesn't seem right. Doesn't add up.
Yeah.
But then they want every one of your $600 Venmos or Cash App.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, that's the travesty, right? Like people get to come in this country, they get all the benefits. All right, this guy's pissing me off. They get all the benefits, and and then they have to pay none of the bills. The rest of us, pick up the slack, and then it gets deferred to us. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's where people like anyone who's listening. That's where you have to actually put it in perspective. Like I put it in perspective of the entire population of Canada, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you live in the USA, you're gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna be an entire population of like Texas or Florida that live here and not pay any taxes.
Yeah.
But they want us to pay our 40 or 50%, right?
Yeah. Well, y'all definitely screwed across the border though.
Well, we're screwed here. We've been screwed here longer than I've been alive, man.
Yeah.
And he made a joke earlier to start in the chat. He's like, "Oh, Canada's falling." I'm like, "Man, how can you fall when you never stood on your own 2 feet?"
Yeah. Exactly.
Like we've never actually separated from the cunt Elizabeth, you know?
Correct.
Hey, I'll tell you a good story. When and you'll see how bad it is. So I had a job of selling alcohol at I've always taken like 4 or 5 jobs, right? Because I like to stay busy.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a job selling alcohol for the LCBO, which is the Liquor Control Board of Ontario. I had to swear an oath of allegiance to their family to sell alcohol in this province.
You have a license. You said you have a license to sell alcohol?
No, I had to swear an oath of allegiance to the Queen to sell alcohol because it's owned by the Crown.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. We are too, but we just don't say it.
Well, yeah, they're definitely owned, especially since the round tables, right? Again, F Vivek, Yeah. But anyone who looks into the round tables, right? That's how it goes, right?
Yeah.
That's entirely, and then you had all the Rockefeller, Carnegie, and all them went out of their way to make sure that they were back towards the monarchy.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
All right, man. Let me let you go. I got some breaking news here.
Yeah, and I'm working. So you have a good one.
All right, Hotep and Bill. Trump verdict just came out. Trying to do some catch up here. Hold on, let me put this on the screen. We're going to talk about the Trump verdict in just a second. But first, I have to rant and vent. So, I told you guys I had an interview at 4 p.m. We had this thing scheduled for 4 p.m. Eastern time today. I had to cut Rudy the Vet Russo off because I thought I was leaving early for this interview. I told him shoot the link over. He says, hey, man. I said, where's the link? He said he just finished his last interview. That was at 4:15. He just finished his last interview. We were supposed to start at 4. I said, okay. Then he sends me a voice message. And I said, text me. I can't listen to that, obviously, because I'm live. He said, just finished my interview. I'm going to have a quick tea break. Then my camera guy will send a link. Is that okay? And I said, ETA. And then he said, 21:45. You guys said that was 9:45. Now he's saying 17:45, and that's 5:45. He said, I've been filming person, so my editor is setting Zoom. When I have a break, 20 minutes, I'll be ready. So I said, will we start in 20 minutes? ? And he sends me another voice message after I told him I can't listen to voice messages. So this person, I'm not doing this interview. I'm not doing it. I refuse to do it. First of all, you didn't respect my time to start your interview with me on time. When I do interviews with people, I don't try to do 4 or 5 back to back to back. I'm not that type of operation. And because you are that type of operation, I don't want to be a part of it. I understand the content grind game. I understand you guys want to do the content grind and, you want to put out the content, and I'm sure you'll be super successful one day. But as far as me and today, yeah. In the future, unless you become as big as Joe Rogan, I'm probably not going to do your podcast. If you don't become as big as Tim Pool, I'm not going to do your podcast. And so I'm not doing that interview. We're going to continue the show for a little bit longer here. Trump reacts to the Jean Carroll verdict. I have absolutely no idea who this woman is. This verdict is a disgrace, a continuation of the greatest witch hunt of all time. Breaking, former President Trump has been found liable of sexual battery. Wow. The jury just returned a verdict, a defamation case. They ruled that Trump is liable and will be awarded over $2 million. Wow. Let's go to the communist rag, CNN. See what they say. Okay, this is a civil case. Says Trump also faced all sorts of civil action, like fraud cases concerning Trump University. He also faces unrelated criminal exposure. There are federal criminal investigations. All right, so this is just a civil suit. He's basically got to cut a check. It doesn't look good, obviously, you know. You convict a man of sexual misconduct, you know, pretty much like asking a girl for her number now is like sexual misconduct. The jury, case has been instructed that a person is liable for sexual abuse when he subjects another person to sexual contact without her consent. Sexual contact means any touching of the sexual or intimate parts of a person for the purpose of gratifying the sexual pleasure of either party. Now, remember, they have this like new rule in leftyism where like a woman can take back her consent after the fact. So you can be hanging out with a girl, you can have a good time, and if she decides the next day that she regrets it, well, you basically sexually assaulted her, even though she liked it the night before. This is not law, but this is sort of a cultural thing in leftyism. You can take back your bodies, I guess. The state's law says the person is liable for rape when a person forces sexual intercourse with another person without the consent. For the purposes of this law, sexual intercourse means any penetration, however slight, of the dang to the dang. Both sexual abuse and rape are sexual offenses in New York. While the jury did not find that Carol had proven rape, they did find that she proved Trump committed sexual abuse, allowing her to receive damages for her civil battery claim. Insane. So we saw earlier Liz Cheney coming at Trump. They throwing everything at him, man. They throwing everything at Trump. Everything, including the kitchen sink. So everybody's weighing in. I'm sure this will be trending shortly. Yeah, Jean Carroll. Let's see what CNN is saying. Let's listen to this clip.
I feel like a victim.
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
But I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Mm. Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
Mm. We're just going to take.
What's she talking about? 50 Shades of Grey?
Just a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
Oh, this woman is nuts. Is that her? This is her? Yo, she I don't know. She seemed a little. Chat, am I bugging? Thumbs up in the chat if I'm not bugging. Doesn't she seem a little woo-woo? Aztec Mega, I see you. What the hell? Something's not right there. Can I listen to it again? Let me listen to it again. It's only 30 seconds.
I feel like a victim.
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations.
What? No, it is. We know what that is. We know what grape is, man. What?
This was not sexual. It hurt.
So she says it's not sexual. It hurt. I think she misspoke there. And who is this? Anderson Cooper?
I think
he's trying to run cover.
Most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
And I don't know about most people, but there's a lot of women out there that have that kink. I don't know what that is, what that's called, but there's a kink for that.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
Mm. We're just going to take a quick break. If you can.
Anderson Cooper can't even put his words together.
We're just going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
Anderson Cooper can't even keep his words together.
You're fascinating to talk to.
Now, is she flirting with him? Is she raping him? That looked like a sexual advance. Yeah, she's off her rocker. I think that's her. I don't know, man.
Before Trump opened the resort as a club, shows the future president surrounded by cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, capturing Trump's fun-loving bachelor lifestyle for an appearance on Faith Daniels'
look at Trump getting down. Look at Trump boogie.
NBC talk show.
We're going to get great ratings in your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. The footage, shot in November of 1992.
Look at that big hair. White women with big hair. That was a time. They look happy to me. Despite the fact she doesn't even know what year he assaulted her. Shout out to Sebastian Gorka. If you guys haven't seen my interview with Seb Gorka, go listen to that. This is wild. This guy right here, David Leavitt, he followed me. I followed him back. Mostly for recon purposes. It's like, if you're doing recon on me, I gotta do recon on you. But he's weird. He's a really weird dude. I think he's a rainbow. Terrence K. Williams, Trump did nothing wrong. This is an attempt to hurt his 2024 campaign. Donald Trump found da-da-da-da. Man. And you know everybody's campaign is going to be talking about this. He was found guilty. He was found guilty. They're going to plaster this around the world like he was some sort of rapist or something. But this clip right here tells you everything you need to know about the alleged victim. This is wild. This is wild. Aztec Mecca. To answer Jonah's question, the IRS gives out ITIN numbers. It's a tax ID to pay taxes. Looks a lot like a social security number. You can get an LLC too. Yeah. Yeah. My LLCs, you know, Hotep Nation has a tax number. My LLC's Master Focus has a tax number. My sole proprietorship has a tax number. Yeah, we all. It's pretty much step one to creating an LLC is, you know, it takes about 5 minutes to go to irs.gov and get you one of those numbers. It doesn't take long at all. This is wild to me. Not shocking, though. Just to be clear, not shocking. Wild, but not shocking. Because Trump is a threat. He's an absolute threat. This guy just hit me back for the interview, and I told him I'm busy, maybe sometime in the future. I'm not doing the interview. I'm not doing an interview. We're supposed to start 45 minutes ago. I'm not doing the interview. I refuse. I'm going to go and do something more productive with my time. Like, finish the timestamps for this video. That's much more productive for me. Because I had to cut Rudy the Vet Russo off for you. I can't do the interview because you disrespected Rudy. He's gonna send me the Zoom link now and say, "Oh, no way." Yes way, motherfucker. Who you think you is, motherfucker? You late. If you late, don't please. I'm a punctual individual too. You can ask anybody I've ever interviewed. I don't play with other people's time. I do not play with other people's time. I take that stuff very serious. There's an event, I'm usually early. Otherwise, I'm fashionably late. But if it's something where somebody needs me there, I'm 15 minutes early. Because I come from a school of thought where if you're not early, you're late. If you're not early, you're late. Disrespected the homies. You got to get taxed for that, man. You got to get taxed for that. I can't do the interview. Who was I supposed to? No, I was. No, he was supposed to interview me, Jabari. This guy's supposed to interview me, not me interviewing. If I was interviewing somebody else, I'd wait. You know, I have no problem with that. Me and Carmen spoke. Hey, you asked Carmen. Never had no problems with timing. Me and Carmen, I think I interviewed her and went on her channel. Respectful of people's times. But I had to cut Rudy the Vet Russo off because I thought I had an interview. And now you're asking me like you want me to accommodate you 45 minutes? Motherfuckers is entitled, bro. Keep in mind, I was like leery about doing an interview in the past. You know, I told him hit me Monday. I'm like, I'll get around to it. It just didn't seem like something I wanted to do. And now I see why. People are just disrespectful, man. Now he's saying something wrong, mate. You don't even deserve a response, bro. You get ghosted now. You get ghosted. If you don't know what you did wrong, then I can't help you. You could have had the Hotep Jesus interview, but now you don't. Now you don't. Share the link out, hit the likes, subscribe, get you some master focus. Class is starting soon. Hotep and Bill, y'all.
Didn't listen to me then, I bet they feel me now. Time don't let me lose it. The booth not about to prove it. I set goals and pursue it. You the best to never do it. Invest my money talking fluent, stupid, ducking the Judas. It broke my heart, but over my eyes, you have no honor, I have no choice. Chasing the commas till I'm gone. I've been left for a minute. On my way home, mama, I promise, got caught up in it. Damn. Everybody eats when I'm batting at the plate. First, second, third, home, $1 million